gonna start recording just in case. So
Okay.
yep. So we haven't hit the list. It's been a hell of a night of technical difficulties. So
Science
if
fiction. That's what we get.
yeah, see, it's the government messing with us from the last week. We did we had the Area 51 caller in the promo.
Yes, that's right, man. Once we start talking about Lazar, they send out the thopters.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
So worst case scenario.
watching.
Yep,
Beef
yep.
is in the house.
Beef said was watching, so okay, that's fine. We're still recording though. Now it's gonna go up on YouTube no matter what. They always go up on YouTube tomorrow. So, all right. Without further ado, let's see. Let's test Joe Martin's sci-fi
Woo!
metal and get one honorable mention off the list.
All right.
Outside of your major list, do you have any honorable mentions, runners up?
I mean, he knows
I
how.
actually do.
Okay, good. Because I mean,
do. I got yeah.
he's seen the show. He knows that we have more honorable mentions than our actual list.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how it is too. My list has been just, it continues to go and go and go. I'm gonna have to say that, this is hard. My honorable mention, and this is just kind of it's almost kind of a slow ball, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say it's The Running Man, and that's gonna be on my slow ball list.
Ooh.
However, and that's the thing, because that movie it's definitely my comfort food movie. Besides that and RoboCop, and I can't put RoboCop not on the list, but I also don't want to, I know that that's a very slow ball kind of answer too, because who doesn't love either of these movies? The Running Man's going to be that, just because it's so sci-fi, and again, it hits that niche that I was hoping with my game. Like, I love how tongue-in-cheek it is and how much it's able to laugh at itself and present that, that excellent, it's like, here, it's totalitarians on TV kind of presentation. It's giving you the larger than life WWF personalities in these characters that you root for. You root for every single one of the bad guys because they've got some kind of gimmick and they're just done so well. The whole thing's headed up by Richard Dawson. It's just like
yeah, what a great
and
casting on that.
It's just every bit of it. And it's just, that's the thing, because it's like, and people are like, oh, it's not the book. And then if you go and read the book is so different and insanely, I mean, it's probably my favorite Richard Bachman book that he did, just with The Running Man itself. And it's so tonally different than what the movie is. And people say that it suffers because it's not the book. I'm like, no, this movie is just pure. It's grade A gold. I mean, I absolutely, I love The Running Man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, that's just kind of my honorable mention.
Jesse the Body Ventura as like the retired
Captain Freedom.
Yeah, as the retired like aerobics fitness VHS man in a cassette futuristic movie where they can literally alter video to make it look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Butcher of Bakersfield, massacres all the people rioting, even though he refused to. He was a man of honor. Got thrown into The Running Man, the longest running like TV show, Smash TV. Like
exactly,
definitely, yeah.
That was it.
Absolutely, Smash TV all the way.
Yeah, I
thrown into a spike wall on television for screaming, cheering audiences who are betting on it. It's just that's so good.
Yeah.
Have you guys played X-Crawl? The DCC?
No, no,
I have not.
So I've seen it, and like I've always been interested in it, but I've never bought any of the stuff for it. What do you need? So it uses Dungeon Crawl Classics. Like,
yeah, it's based upon Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's a Goodman's product. Brendan LaSalle, my buddy, came up with it. But there is an X-Crawl core book, and then there's some splat books. There's like there's like a Coney Island one. There's a bunch of different ones. So I have yet to actually play it, but I've been reading through the book lately because I've been trying to see the Venn diagram too between Neon Lords and X-Crawl, because I think they can definitely coexist.
Well, tell them to get a hold of me.
I certainly will. I'm playing Temple Elemental Evil with them tomorrow morning.
Have his people call my people.
I
mean, you're gonna call yourself, Joey. You can have one phone.
The red phone.
You gotta have your Zach Morris like giant like 80s.
I do need one of those. I need one of those.
At least get the they made like walkie-talkie ones.
Yeah. The big brick.
Yeah. So like at least just get a walkie-talkie one and then just pretend.
That's how we're gonna walk around conventions. I got to get an attaché case with from Cops and Crooks with like bulletproof, and I'll get an attaché case and I'll get the big phone and I'll be your agent.
Perfect.
You're
You're aware of
Oh, I'm
sleazy.
sorry.
You're good. You're aware of Sleazy P Martini though, right?
Oh, absolutely. You kidding
Yeah.
me?
You're my
I see
Sleazy
the
P.
person.
Oh yeah.
He's my uncle, man. He's the guy. He's my godfather. He was at my confirmation.
I love it.
We walked down the aisle.
He was your sponsor.
He was my sponsor. Yeah. That's why Martini is my confirmation name. Joseph Martini, Pontius Royale. Yeah, rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah. That was
boy.
All right. I don't know how we got from Running Man to your confirmation, but
No, it connects.
It's another night of ravioli where the tangents are crazy.
yeah, that is true.
All right, what's your first
Okay.
first honorable mention?
So let me see if I still have it up because we're gonna have to deep dive. So this is newer to me, but an older movie. So it's called Robot Holocaust.
Oh.
So
okay.
1987.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it whilst the book was done, but it is the closest movie I had to start with as an honorable mention because it's the closest Neon Lords movie you're gonna get.
All right.
So
Robot Holocaust.
the TLDR of it is a highly unlikely band of heroes traverse a post-apocalyptic wasteland to rescue a scientist from the tyrannical Dark One and his army of robots, which there's like 2 robots in it. So it's
I'm writing
schlocky.
this one down.
It's schlocky. It's amazing. Like it was definitely awesome watch. It should have been in episode 2 because the cover is incredible and the movie is not so much, but it's super fun. It's a super fun watch. It's out of control. It's bad. The effects. What? Why, Jared? If you're watching, talk in the chat. Don't talk in our private chat. Let the people know. But yeah, Robot Holocaust. It didn't make the top 6, obviously, because it's new to me. You can watch it on Prime Video if you're
okay, cool.
so inclined. I'm telling you, don't let the cover fool you, because the cover's dope and the font, everything. It's Chef's Kiss.
Chef's Kiss. First
It's
Chef's
also a
Kiss
Mystery Science Theater episode.
Yep.
Oh,
and
is
it's a Mystery Science Theater episode.
It's a Mystery Science episode, so you can watch it that way too. If you want to have somebody talk over it, which that's up to you. But
yeah,
it's great.
So
Right. I might get kicked out of this show right away with my first honorable mention because I'll tell you, my man, Wilford Brimley jumping into that pool.
Oh, we talking Cocoon?
We're talking Cocoon, man.
Ooh, I love it.
I tell you what, I love those little aliens in that movie.
Yeah.
Batteries not included.
Yeah.
Those just I feel like those that's a double feature right there. Cocoon.
Yeah, that's a great. You know what? That's a very good point. Cocoon was just a feel good movie, and just the whole idea from it, I thought was just so cool. And it's just one of those movies where it's like they just say peace out at the end. There's no nice resolution where let's just stay and die. Nope. They're going off into the sunset, and that poor kid's got to wave goodbye. And that kid, who was that kid? Do you remember?
No, let me that's why I keep IMDb up for this.
When I was a kid, I thought that guy was the best. That kid. Man? Oh, it was the kid from the Neverending Story.
No way.
Wasn't it?
No way. I don't believe
Bastion?
you.
I don't know.
It can't be. I feel like that kid was in one thing.
From Cocoon?
Yeah. No. Neverending Story kid. I feel like he was only in Neverending Story though, right? Isn't he that's it?
Yeah.
In the first one, I think. Yeah.
So what's the kid's name? You know how long it's?
It is.
No
it's
way.
Barrett Oliver. That's him, man.
That's crazy.
That's him. That's Bastion. Yeah. I knew I wasn't crazy, but I haven't watched that movie in a long time. So that's the thing too. Some of my honorable mentions, they're just clips from my childhood that
Oh,
there's
yeah,
just
it is.
some you never go back.
Yeah.
Like I watched it that time, and I'm not gonna go back. I had a nice picture of it. It was like we were at my friend's house for dinner, and like the parents were watching it. Like, oh, look what this VHS we got, Cocoon.
Yeah.
And I remember just walking by and seeing those aliens.
I think every parent like had Cocoon.
Yeah, that was like a '80s parent thing. Like
Yeah.
that was like the adult sci-fi movie that they got all weird with.
Yeah, totally. Joe,
That's my
your next honorable
My next,
mention.
okay. My next honorable mention. You know what? I'm gonna have to say it since you're on the same vein with that, sort of. I'm gonna say Flight of the Navigator.
Okay. We me and Joey had a big Flight of the
Yeah.
Navigator conversation. I don't know if it was
So,
on
yeah.
air or if it
Oh.
was off air that we talked about it.
I had a feeling.
that's absolutely that's we just
Yeah.
I just that's what I think it might have been the first episode, but like I had just my kids just watched it for the first time. We had like a movie night a couple like a month ago, and we watched Flight of the Navigator. And I never knew as a kid that was Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Rubens did the
Yeah.
voice of the ship.
He had a different credit.
Yeah.
They were
his name is
sneaky about it.
Paul,
Yeah.
Paul Moore, like the cigarette.
Mhm.
Brilliant. But that eye, man, when that eye opens up in the wall, like when he has like that menagerie of all
Yeah.
like the cantina creatures. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
It was fun.
But once you get, oh man, yeah, that's that was a tough one too, though, because it gets weird, right? It turns into time travel.
Yeah, so
it's
that's the thing about it is like, yeah, we talked about how scary
That's
of a
what we
movie it
talked
was.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the kid,
The second act, forget it.
yeah, he
Yeah.
like goes to his house, like his safe
Yeah.
haven, and like old people live there.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's like, you know what it reminds me of? It's like Cloak and Dagger,
yes.
like
Yeah,
with the lady with the finger
yeah.
used to scare the crap out of me. Same thing as that movie. But
Good call there.
yeah,
Good call, Joe. That's a beautiful movie.
Flight of the
love it.
Navigator is
Yeah.
iconic. It's amazing. It's one of the best kid sci-fi movies you can have. It's up
It's
there
every
with
kid's dream.
yeah. It's
It's
up
every
there.
kid's dream.
It's up there with Goonies. It's like
Yes,
I'd say
I
it's like
agree.
Never-Ending Story, Goonies, Flight of the
Yep.
Navigator. It's up there.
That
Hands
is
down.
a beautiful holy trinity. Yeah,
Yeah.
right there. Absolutely, man.
All right. Beautiful. Good choice, Joe. So, another off the beaten path honorable mention for me is a movie called Gunhead. Gunhed.
Yes.
1989.
Yes, I love Gunhead.
Yeah, Japanese cyberpunk future. I'll give you the TLDR of this one too,
Yeah.
Joey Royale. In a cyberpunk future, Chiron 5 supercomputer attempts to exterminate the human race, but gunhead mechs stop it. In 2038, 5 thieves break into a condemned island facility to steal Chiron's dead computer, or CPU. The place turns out to be a death trap. So, yeah, it's so much fun. They like go to this abandoned island that's like so industrial, and then just like, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. It's worth a watch. It's
I'm looking at the
unbelievable.
cover right now.
The cover.
It's a lot of it's a lot of great like practical effects, a lot of great miniatures works.
Yep.
If you want to see robots and wireframes being zoomed on in monitors, this movie's got it all.
Yeah,
that's a big thing here with the raviolis. We
Yep.
love those practical effects.
Love practical effects. So Gunhead, I got it on VHS. I know you can watch it somewhere because I've seen it. I had to download it to watch it my first time because it's not, I'm not new to it, but I mean I didn't see it obviously in like the 90s or anything, but it's definitely up there. It's one of my favorites. Didn't make the cut though, but honorable mention. Go watch it. It's Ravioli stamp of approval.
Stamp of approval right there. That adding that to the list.
Yep.
You have dug much deeper than I ever have with these foreign films. So you're always teaching me something.
You gotta.
All right, mine.
I'll remind me. I'll show you my VHS copy of it. It's insane.
All right, you have a VHS copy. Of course you do.
Yeah, of course I do. Sorry, go ahead, Joey. What's your next?
So
honorable?
on the same track of Navigator,
Mm-hmm.
And Brian, we might have talked about this before. Data analyzing robot youth life form. Daryl.
Daryl.
Oh yeah. I don't think we
Yeah.
That's
ever got
another
into.
one. I haven't looked back. That left an indelible mark on me as a child. I remember distinctly getting that was like one of those ones that wasn't a sick day rental. That was like my parents were going out to dinner on date night, and I had some teenager babysitting me, and that was one of them. That was a parents going out rental. Daryl.
Hell yeah.
Once again, one of those kind of disturbing. Is this really for a 9-year-old kind of movie that messes with your head?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's a very interesting kids movie. And actually, this one I don't want to step on toes, but this one was neck and neck with another honorable mention, The Explorers.
Yeah.
So it kind of Flight of the Navigator, Explorers, and Daryl.
Very cool.
That was my sci-fi, kids section of the video rental place.
Kids section rental place sci-fi. Flight of the Navigator for sure.
Yep.
A lot of those Disney clamshell white boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to think. That's a deep dive on that. I don't on my list. I don't have any like kids movies.
E.T.
No, I hate E.T.
I can't watch it.
I've only seen it once. I've only seen it once.
I saw it when I was a kid. That was it. My kids are watching it the other day. Don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Mac and Me, but it's not on this list because it goes without saying.
That's one of those exactly. That's one of those ones I told my wife before I went down there. She started doing the whistle, joking around, and I said it's not going to be on it because it is just part of our DNA. It's just under.
So so for everybody, eventually when we start getting Popcorn Primavera going, we're gonna roll a d20 and there's a list of movies, and we'll say we get a 15 and it's I don't know, like Hobo with a Shotgun or whatever. So we watch Hobo with a Shotgun, we have a blast. Hobo with a Shotgun's off the list. Something replaces it, right? Number one is always Critical Fumble is always Munchie, and D20 like critical success is always Mac and Me. Those never leave the list. So like we could literally we could critical fumble 4 times in a row and have to watch Munchie 4 times, and I'm sticking to it.
Munchie Jam for a month.
I got Munchie on Blu-ray specifically for this.
If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down in style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every wrinkle on that little freak.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So, okay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Joe, next honorable mention.
Next honorable mention. Let's see. I'm gonna. You know what? I think I will. I had a kids movie, and I think I'm actually gonna bump it down because we're talking about, and this technically counts, but it's Disney's The Black Hole.
Oh,
never seen that one either.
Good call.
Never seen that one. Oh my goodness. It's got a general concept of like a ship runs into a ship on the edge of a black hole that is repelling its gravity and is staying afloat, and it's run by a madman who has this idea of taking the ship through the black hole, and he's his whole crew like rebelled, so he turned them into androids. And I don't want to say too much about it to ruin it, but there's like some Disney style, practical effects with, like some pretty cool robots. There's a very imposing bad guy robot. The score is done by John Barry, who did, the better Bond soundtracks and stuff like that. So it's got a great intro. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it's got nobody and Ernest Borgnine in it, but it's fine. Yeah, it's all you need. It's a good, solid sci-fi. It's one that I remember. I always liked it as a kid. I like it as an adult. It's very, it's a movie that came out much later than it looks like it did, because the way that it was shot, it seems like it's a movie that was done in the late 60s, early 70s, and it came out in 1980. And it just really looks like it has a very interesting look and style to it. It's got a very surreal, weird ending. Definitely worth checking out if you can. I'm pretty sure it's on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
that, and if not,
I got to go back to that one, man. That's a real good call.
It's a good one. I mean, definitely worth a watch.
I will check it out. I mean, I'm aware of it, but like,
it's a very spooky PG.
One of those old school PG in quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably
Roddy McDowall is the voice of Vincent,
very cool.
uncredited.
So, speaking of Hobo with a Shotgun, my next honorable mention um, has the immortal Rutger Howard in the. That's how you say his name, right? Am I like
Rutger
I think
Howard.
so. Yeah.
Rutger
Yeah,
Howard? Yeah.
Rutger Howard. There you go.
Split Second.
Oh man, that's such a great movie.
Yeah. So, Joey, I'll give you the TLDR of this one.
Yeah, yeah.
In a
You can
flooded,
tell by the look in my eye that I haven't seen it. You're
in,
good. You can pick that up.
in a flooded future London, Detective Harley Stone hunts a serial killer who murdered his partner and has haunted him ever since. He soon discovers what he's hunting might not be human. Worth a watch. It's got that gritty detectiveness to it, and not, I don't know. It's like pre cyberpunk ish, because it's like futuristic but
Yeah,
not like totally cyberpunk ish. And then Rucker, I don't know why I keep saying it weird. He
yeah.
does the mystery thing and ends up being like, obviously, spoiler alert, like, well, I'm not gonna spoil anything. Watch it. It's
All
worth
right,
it.
all right. I
Great
will.
movie.
It's I will say I'm a big Blade Runner fan, and I didn't put it on my list because it's just the go-to movie, and it's also a good sleepy time movie. Like I
Yeah.
love the style of it. Sid Mead's work on it. Rutger Hauer is phenomenal in Blade Runner, but I love his role in Split Second. He is just the most no nonsense ass kicker that has ever been in a movie, and he's so good in it. I watched this movie fairly recently. I had never seen it, and I was kind of like just skimming through what's on Amazon, what can I watch,
Yeah.
and then I was like, I'll take a chance on this. And this movie is just it ticked all the boxes. I was like, this is perfect. I will totally watch this again because of his performance alone. Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Great,
Add
great
it to the
call.
list. So here comes the shock. Here
All
comes the
right.
shock. The Blob.
Ooh,
The
which
Which
80s,
one?
the
I
80s
was in
Blob.
Frank Deer. It's on my list.
Is it on your list?
I put it on my list. Yes.
It's awesome, man. Just I distinctly remember having that VHS. That's like one of the first VHSs that I actually bought with my own money. I think it was. I went to Suncoast and they had a bunch of stuff cheap, and I got obviously like my third copy of Night of the Living Dead, and I got Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and then the third purchase I got with birthday money was The Blob, because man, that the cover, you know what I'm talking about? The guy's face, it's like purple and he's coming out of the blob. That shook me. But that movie is just cool. I love the 60s one as well. I love the blob, just the idea of the blob in general. It's almost like a zombie film because you just have this slow shambling thing taking over your small town and they can't figure out a way to stop it. And it just pops up everywhere. That beautiful, the asteroid landing, that from any time an asteroid lands, kids, don't touch it because you'll end up like the Blob, or you end up like what's his name, the Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrill.
Hold on. Sorry, we got kicked out real quick. Like, this is unbelievable tonight. I'm just reconnecting real quick. I know. We get a guest on here and everything goes to shit.
And I've ruined it with my codes.
Yeah.
My hacking. Oh man.
It's all good. It's just we're just gonna jump right back on.
Okay.
All right. Yep. We got kicked off. Yep. And we're back. I don't know what happened. Sorry, everybody. So Joey was just talking about the blob. I think so the Blob was the last place we stopped. So.
And Joe, that's on your list too. That's just a great film, man. Like
Frank Darabont. That is the first movie that I watched that scared the living hell out of me. I saw the commercial, and it's the commercial with the spot with the guy with the little lights that comes up in the air vent, and he looks, and the thing rushes at him, and that's what I remember from the commercial. And I'm like, I want to watch this, but I'm probably going to get scared. And the thing is because it has such phenomenal practical gore.
Yeah,
probably the best use of any kind of like actual like practical special effects for that type of movie, and the storytelling was so just a phenomenal, well put together movie. Like I always will watch that movie too. That's a damn good movie.
Now that you mention it too, I think that was like, it must have been like heavily advertised. On TV, like when that came out in the theater, I think they really pushed that. That's why I have all these really very vivid visuals of this thing. of some of the best parts. But then, like I said, one of my first VHS purchases, just classic Meteor Landing extraterrestrial in a small town. I think it hits all those beautiful recipes of early sci-fi in a remake done very well with those beautiful practical effects.
It's like John Carpenter's Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see that until much later in my life, and I wish I had seen it so much earlier. And that's a thing, because you want to talk practical, raw poutine, special effects, and just being able to do so much with it. God, yeah, the thing it's such a great example of just a well-oiled machine. It shocks me that movie didn't do well, and it was panned when it came out. Like, the fact that people were just like, this movie's horrible, all it is focus, and it's like, no, there's so many different levels of John Carpenter's The Thing. Oh, that's another good one.
It is. I don't know why I didn't put. I mean, there's just so many. There's just so many.
Yeah,
that's one of those things that you put up on the shelf too. It's kind of like it's The Thing. It's up there.
Right.
It's the movie we're gonna watch.
Yeah. So my top 6 are like huge to me, but I other than that, like the honorable mentions, I wanted to talk about stuff that maybe doesn't get the love that it deserves. But granted, now we're kind of like getting down into the nitty gritty. I got like my Robot Holocaust and Gunhead split second out of the way, and then Joe, you got another honorable mention?
Another honorable mention. See, because I would talk about Turbo Kid, but I know you guys have already talked about it.
Every episode.
Every episode.
Yeah, every
it's just
episode.
gonna happen.
But, well, we could talk about it again. So you're new to the show. Me and Joey just.
I'm new to the show.
We
We'll talk about it.
We won't put in. I'll just talk about Dawson Creek being in it. That's it.
That's it. I see, because that's the thing, because like I could talk about Solar Babies, which is an example of like a movie that exists and has like such a weird concept, and it's just from like the entire runtime is just so weird, but is technically a post-apocalypse movie, and it's just so strange. And then you have like just with Turbo Kid, it just ran off the BMX craze, and it made this lighthearted, fun movie that also had gore. And you've seen it, and you've obviously talked about it, so there's nothing I'm going to add to it other than I'm just a humongous fan of Roadkill Superstar and the three of them that they made that movie. And I can't wait to see if I know they've talked about doing a continuation or something with it, and I can't wait to go.
Well, the continue. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good.
The continuation is the video game that they got.
So
going.
they're doing the video game. It's going to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I backed that too on Kickstarter. Yeah, I was like, I have to.
Yeah, that's the continuation.
I met the three of them at a show in Montreal. Yeah, because I was something with work where I went up and I actually got to see them, and they got to sign my poster, and I got a French imprint of the poster and got it signed by all three of them. And it's one of my favorites. Totally love that movie.
It's a good time movie, man. It is.
It is a good. Yeah,
I hope that continues that kind of stuff, like Psycho Gorman and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was about to say we might as well plug Psycho Gorman, because we talk about Turbo Kid and Psycho Gorman every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And Night of the Comet. We got. I think Night of the Comet.
Yeah.
I almost talked about Night of the Creeps again too with the Blob. Because of that beginning. We talk about the same. Yeah, I mean, Night of the Comet could make it on this list again. It could make every list.
These are all Ravioli Hall of Fames.
Yeah,
we got to make a list that like these shall not be touched. It's just a general understanding.
Because when I did the promo cut for this one, I was going to put a Night of the Comet in it, because I know how like that's like so near and dear to our hearts. But I wanted to keep it out because nobody's gonna watch the show because it's gonna be the same
movies every time.
Every time.
Surprise.
Yeah,
nice.
But that's all right. So let's see. So Joe, then who's after Joe? Me.
Mm-hmm.
So Judge Dredd, Sylvester Stallone. I'm sure. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Like I'm a huge Dredd guy. I love both of them, but I wanted to talk about the '90s Judge Dredd. How awesome it is.
Absolutely.
Makes the list. Practical effects like we like. ABC Warrior in it. The only problem is Sylvester Stallone couldn't wear the helmet because he's such a huge star. Couldn't fit the ego under it. But
Yeah, I never got that. Yeah, that's
I love the look of Mega City in that movie so much more than, I mean, I love 2012 Dread. I love it. I'm absolutely like, it gave me an exact what I wanted Dread to do, but
yep,
it lost a little bit of that humor that was there, because that Judge Dredd was the intro to the character to me. Like, I
yep,
had
same.
never read any of the stuff, and I was like just so on board with the idea. Like, that's again another inspiration for the game, obviously,
Right.
is Dread, because of how extreme and ridiculous the concept is. But it's like, no, this is what it takes, this is what it needs. So it takes somebody having to come in and dispense justice literally, and he's going to talk into his gun, and a grenade's going to come out, and it's going to take care of a jaywalker or whatever. And it's like, that's how it works. I love that movie. I feel like that movie does get a bad break, but I think if you go back and rewatch it, especially now, due to changing sensibilities of what people
yes.
want from their entertainment, I think that's the thing, because I think people looked at it and they were expecting something different from it, and it was a movie that was so, it hit a lot of what I
Yeah,
wanted.
it definitely holds up. It definitely holds up. I've watched it. I've watched both the Sylvester Stallone and 2012
Mhm.
recently-ish, within the last, I'd say, year-ish,
Yeah,
and it holds up 100%.
I love that
It's
movie.
fantastic. Yeah, like that was like a VHS that we had. I mean, I still have a copy on VHS now, but
Yeah.
it's like it's so good. It's just everything about it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's got like the Angel Gang. It's got the Cursed Earth scene.
Mean
Like,
Machine, yeah.
yeah, like good stuff. Definitely, definitely had it just hit in all the right spots. And like
Hmm.
that style obviously is going to show up a lot more on this list. I got a couple more
Hmm.
great movies like that, but Judge Dredd, yep, it's got the chef's kiss.
second one of the night.
Oh,
My last honorable mention, getting a little emo, Donnie Darko.
Yeah,
oh, I didn't even think of Donnie Darko.
Time
yeah.
travel. That's how I started to think when I was shaving the other day. I'm like, all right, so sci-fi. I'm like, oh, time travel. What are the other time travel movies other than Back to the Future that really rung a bell with me?
Yeah,
And Donnie Darko, man, I would consider that a sci-fi film. Would you?
Absolutely.
Sci-fi film, yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Different
mean,
Donnie Darko
timelines.
seen it.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen the director's cut?
No, I have not seen the director's cut.
Worth it.
Yeah.
I got it on the old Blu-rays, as the kids say. It's maybe. I mean, I could put that on the. We could put that on the Popcorn Primavera, the Donnie Darko, because
That'd be
like
cool.
that
Good.
movie. Yeah, if you were between the age of, I'll go 18 to 25, 26 when that movie came out, that was like everything to you. Like
Yep.
I was working at Subway, and then like me and this other guy, like Coast to Coast AM, Donnie
Yep.
Darko, we just talked and talked and talked, like all the theories, the Donnie Darko theories. That was like that was like, I would say, when Blockbuster was on its kind of its
Yeah.
last leg at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Donnie Darko found its audience in rentals.
Yes,
Yes.
it did. Yeah. My I remember my sister, I'll never forget this phone call. My sister, my youngest sister called me. She goes, Joey, I just saw this movie. And she goes, it's you. You are gonna love it. But please, please don't get too into it. Like she knew right
Oh no.
away. Like this was like in my head. She's like, I'm just warning you, you might like it too much. So don't take it too seriously. Yep. That was
Yeah.
a great one, man.
Oh yeah.
Swayze at his best.
Oh, Swayze, phenomenal. I'm a huge Swayze fan.
Me too, man. We got to talk. Oh man, we got to talk about Roadhouse sometime.
Roadhouse, yeah,
I will
Roadhouse.
talk.
Roadhouse is like one of my favorites of all
Me
time.
too, man. Yep,
Yeah.
we'll go down that rabbit hole someday. But that was it. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. You guys have more?
I have a ton more.
I have a ton more. Yeah.
Go for it. I'm learning, man. See, this is the thing. You guys are teaching me.
All right,
Okay.
Joe, go for it.
This I'll cut it off here, because I could definitely talk sci-fi, but I'm gonna do this one just because it is, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if I should add it, and I'm gonna make it an honorable mention. The Fifth Element.
Oh,
Oh, good.
absolutely. Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Fifth Element. I mean, and it's again, it's a gimme answer, but the thing is that that's one of the last movies I remember still filmed with practical effects and miniatures. All of the New York City stuff is all practical minis and stuff built, and that's a movie that, um, Luc Besson, who I love, The Professional, I love most of his other work. And that movie came out and it was just a breath of fresh air because that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted an imaginative, French inspired sci-fi movie that was like, cool. If something was to come out and have that kind of look and be like a sci-fi adventure with, flying cars and lots of stuff and creatures and critters and, Gary Oldman in a phenomenal bad guy role, and just I can't say enough good things about The Fifth Element, just as far as just like, I think it runs out of steam, and I think that might be a budgetary kind of thing. Just in the third act of it, it's kind of like, oh, it seems like things are looking a little weak compared to what I had been seeing in the first part of the movie, and I can understand like that movie probably cost a ton of money and most likely didn't make any of it back, but
No.
again, a movie that thrived in its audience. The thing is nobody saw it in the theater, and it's a movie that came out and got all that money and rentals and all that other stuff. But beautiful movie, beautiful
Yeah.
soundtrack, great execution. Definitely one of the greats.
Yeah,
That,
definitely. Oh, go ahead, Joey.
no, I'm just gonna say it deserves a resurgence. It deserves like a re-release. It just seems like it's one of those boomerang movies that it needs to come back around. And I think now, like, what was the last one you talked about too? That you were dead on. Like, it's time for this to come back, kind of thing. There is an audience, I think, for that now that would really appreciate it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dread.
Dread. I mean, all of them really.
Yeah,
Everything we've
Yeah,
talked about needs a
every movie.
resurgence. Yeah. So yeah, Fifth Element. I feel like I don't know. Fifth Element's an interesting one because I feel like people just didn't understand it at the time, especially with like how over the top a lot of it is.
Yeah.
And then like Bruce Willis like at his prime like in it. No, I think people were
Yeah.
expecting something different than what they got. More
Mhm.
like I think they were thinking more Blade Runner than less like Fifth Element for sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, but yeah, unbelievable movie. Like everything about it's awesome. I can't like Joe nailed it. I can't even add anything else to it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's
Like
thank you.
Chris
I've seen
Tucker.
that movie in the theater more than any other movie in my entire life. And it's because my theater just would let me go in for free after a point because I kept going because I kept wanting to see, like, that movie inspired me it was another art inspiration and I would just go and do it. I think I saw that movie like maybe 20 something times in the theater. And they're just like,
Wow.
yeah, just go in. I'm like, oh, that's fine.
Joe,
Wow.
was that your
Yeah.
last honorable mention?
That's my I'll put a pin in it. I'll say that's my last honorable mention. So that way we can get to the
Well, I have more.
Oh, okay.
As he brings out the stack.
Let me roll out the scroll. I know.
Yeah.
The manuscript.
I know it sucks. Like in the process of moving, like to the house and everything, so I don't have my like stack of DVDs and VHSs to
Yeah.
show off the covers. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, but Johnny Rico, the only good bug is a
Oh
dead
my
bug. Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean put every Paul Verhoeven movie on this list.
Mhm.
Like Starship Troopers is one of the greats. Michael Ironside at his best. Giant bugs, copious amounts of like yellowish mucousy blood,
Yep.
like just over the top violence and gore in a pseudo fascistic like a
Yeah.
society that's like weirdly like in Buenos Aires or South America somewhere, but they're super white, like pure insanity at its finest. Just up my alley. I love Starship Troopers. I love everything about it, like the 3D animated cartoon that followed, all the
Yeah.
sequels.
The Roughneck Chronicles, wasn't it?
Yeah, canon too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great theater watch. I
Oh,
really enjoyed
absolutely.
that
That
on the big screen.
that is
That
the
was made to
epitome.
see on a big
I
screen.
I'm not a movie reactor. Like, I'm not a laugh or exclaim at a movie that I will watch in the theater. But when I first saw that movie and the first guy got ripped to shreds by a bug,
Yep.
I was just in hysterics laughing about how great this was, that I was not expecting it to go this level of like, oh my God, are we going to do this? This is great. Of course this is Paul Verhoeven. Of course we're going to get this. And it just kept going. And I'm like, oh my goodness. That's a great.
Yeah, because you
movie.
wouldn't get that from the trailers. They kind of tricked you. I
Nope.
love
See,
that.
They fooled everybody.
that's
Yeah.
a
Everybody expected a different movie.
that's a whole show onto itself, Joey. Like trailers that didn't stack up to
Yeah.
the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Good one.
yep. And then Joe, I mean, if you got more chances.
All right, I'm gonna give one more. All right, and this is
Yes.
gonna be this is because I could keep going.
Yeah.
Demolition Man.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Put a
Demolition Man
put a
has to be.
pin in it. Put a pin in demo because I got it on my list.
Okay, all
We'll
right.
talk. No,
I thought,
no. You're good. That's just what we do. If it's like huge on the list, I want to talk. I want to
okay.
deep dive into Demolition Man, of course.
Can I do an alternate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Are you familiar with Dead End Drive-In?
Dead End Drive-In. I am
Oh
possible.
my goodness,
Let me see this.
it's Australian.
Dead End Drive-In. Why?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's sci-fi by name only, but I like the idea that it's a roving gang apocalypse movie where people are stuck in a drive-in and they have to survive, and they've like literally locked the doors. It's almost like a sort of like a it's like a gang movie sort of, but it's just so weird. It's an exploitation movie. It's very, very surreal. I can't say a lot about it. I can say that just it's fun, and it definitely bears a watch for, you know, it's boobs, it's violence, it's Australians, it's, it's fun. It's just it's a fun, it's an honorable mention.
The Wikipedia page says the final stunt cost around 75,000, more than any single stunt performed in Australia until then, and set a world record for a jump by a truck for 49.3 meters. That's awesome, man. That's some accolades right there.
Yeah, check it out for the technical factor alone.
I will. I do have one more that I forgot to mention. I have to mention this one. Mars Attacks.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Mars Attacks for sure. I mean, I'm not gonna that it's Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
And it's got everything you want.
Yeah, Tim Burton at his peak.
Yep.
Like
that was
yeah, Tim Burton during his prime. Like he sucks. After Planet of the Apes, he went downhill. Yeah. Let's be honest. You know.
I agree.
Mars Attacks, a movie about a Topps trading card.
Yeah.
Like awesome. You know, did you know that there was a Kickstarter for like a new set?
Yes, that was before I knew about that was a while ago, right?
Yeah.
That was before I knew about Kickstarter.
Yep.
I got the I have the original set, the original remake, the original series remake, which of course leads ourselves to we got to have a trading cards episode.
Wax packs.
Yeah. Wax packs. But Mars Attacks, man, to me that's one of the coolest ideas for an alien ever. I love the glass dome, big brain, Major Matt Mason, kind of bendy suits, spacemen, like, the color forms out of spaceman suits, and just the absurdity of it. That's
huge
classic
cast.
Shtick right there. Yeah, cast. It's like the Cannonball
Huge
Run
cast
of our
for
generation.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly it.
That's
man.
like the perfect. Yeah, that's the perfect analogy right there. Cannonball Run of our generation's Mars Attacks.
Nicholson.
I'll fight on that hill with you, Joey.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And it's kind of a bold statement, but I mean, with there's no Dom DeLuise. Rest in peace. I love you, Big Dom. But it's good. For our generation, that's what I see it as.
Absolutely. It's the wacky races of our generation.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Yes.
Let's go. I'll go with that, man. I think that's better put. The wacky races. Yeah, that's good.
So I love Mars Attacks. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain because, like, if you've seen it, but if you haven't seen it,
you don't have to explain. That's exactly you don't have to explain. It's Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
It's Mars. Yeah. It's UFOs. It's the big aliens and people getting fried.
Yeah, and I want to say it came out after Independence Day too.
Yes, it did.
So,
yeah.
So an antithesis to like the biggest blockbuster of the time.
That's funny, man. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's a great one.
Well, we got one of those too, and here it is in theaters now.
Yeah, yeah.
What? What's in?
Oh,
Oh
this.
yeah, I thought you were talking about like
Yeah.
literally now. It's like, man, what
Oh
am I
no no
missing?
no 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 no! Just the Independence Day came out. It's like, oh well, we've been working on one too. Here it is.
Yeah, I mean that's how it always is. You got Dante's Inferno,
Oh yeah.
Volcano at the same time,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like Deep Impact and
Your
Armageddon at the
glut of
same time.
asteroid movies.
Yeah.
All your asteroid movies are hitting.
Mars Attacks had awesome background music too. Like it's all theremin. Yeah, that was
Yep.
that was
Yeah.
really good.
Theremin generated.
It's like,
yeah.
Joey? Did you ever play Destroy All Humans?
Yeah, no, I got that. I want to play that.
I'm
It's a
pretty
fun
sure
game.
it's like they've remastered it. It might be on like all the.
Mhm.
If you got it might be on Switch. I don't know.
I got to check that out. It's funny that you mentioned that. I was looking at movies. I mean, at games from around that time, and the cover art always blew me away.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like it got re-released, reprobed. Very nice.
Reprobed.
Yeah. Yeah. It's looking
Hey, I'll
like.
check that out, man. That's cool. I've always wanted to play that.
Yep, it's on Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series X,
All right,
Xbox
I'm ready.
One. Yep. So multi-platform, as they say,
As the kids say these days.
as the kids say.
What else is on the Neon Lord stack of doom?
Warhammer 40,000, the movie, aka Event Horizon.
Oh my goodness, that's all mine.
That's
All right, so put a pin in it, Joe.
well,
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Well,
it's
you can
on
talk
my
about it
list
now.
too, man.
I mean,
It's on my
no, we can wait. We can wait. That's all good.
You want to wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yep, I'm gonna call it on that. I have a couple more honorable mentions. I'll just say it by name. We'll just skip through them. Hardware,
Yep.
great movie. Joey, you seen that one?
On my list.
would remind me.
So it's essentially like the guy, it's like
Richard Stanley.
it's like a post-apocalyptic movie where like this like scavenger guy he finds like an old like war robot out in the wastelands, and his
Okay.
girlfriend is like an artist type, and so like he gifts it to her, but like the robot becomes sentient and like essentially rebuilds itself and goes on like a killing spree, if you will.
I will check that out.
It's really good. There's some it's insane. It's worth a watch.
It's a beautiful stylized movie. It's very orange. I saw it for the first time on
Very
one of my
orange.
local. Yeah, very orange movie.
I know
It
what
is.
you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah. Local TV affiliate just randomly played it on the Saturday we don't know what to show on TV hour or like bracket, and it was just like on during the weekend, and I watched this movie blind, and it changed my life. I was like, this movie is so unbelievably cool. Amazing soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful practical effects. One of the characters in the Lawman book is actually based on the Wanderer from that movie, with the guy with the gas mask.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I saw him. I'm like, that guy is so freaking cool, and I've been drawing him a lot, and I sort of adapted him into a character. But he's in
And
there.
if you look at the Neon Lord tiles, you can see that the hardware, the robot,
very
is
cool.
on the actual tile.
I definitely have to check that out. That's going to be part of the
Yeah.
Sunday snooze watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a watch. So that was yeah, Jared in the chat said honorable mention Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, yeah, man. The Green Goblin.
So, okay, Maximum Overdrive, no. But the trailer for it, have you ever seen the trailer for that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, with Stephen King talking about it?
Yeah, Stephen King high on cocaine talking
Yep.
about the movie. Like, it's better than the movie itself. Like,
The Coke
Yep.
years, man. Those
Oh,
went,
my
yeah,
God.
those were tough.
and then my last honorable mention, so yeah, so Hardware, Event Horizon, and Time Cop.
Yeah, we're
JCVD.
gonna put Time Cocked.
Yeah. Oh, you got it on
I
there?
figured I was going to, and I figured one of you guys was gonna pick Time Cop, because how could we not?
I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Time
the
Cop's a great
opening
one.
the opening sequence to that is like, see, the problem is I don't know. It's a spoiler before Neon Lord, so I don't want to spoil it.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, so I can't talk about it. Well,
Mm, interesting.
I mean, it has to do with the secret class in the book.
Oh, right. Nope. You got to keep that secret. People got to work for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remembered one.
Okay.
Were you done? I didn't want to interrupt.
No. Time Cop, JCVD doing splits. Like guy's arm gets frozen
Yes.
and he kicks it off like or something. I don't remember. It's been a
Yeah.
while. But yeah, the opening sequence stuck with me. It's like one of my biggest things. I love it, especially like goes back to Civil War time. Knows exactly like the convoy's taking the Confederate gold, and he like just has like two like submachine guns and just mows down these soldiers like insanely awesome. Great. I
That
love.
was a great time, man.
Yep.
Walking into a theater, and every couple of months you could see a Van Damme movie. There was like that time where there was just action movies like that galore.
Yep. So that's the interesting thing about this list, though, is look at the amount of sci-fi action movies. You don't really get those anymore. I mean, you don't really get the action movie anymore. There's like it's like
No.
you don't get them anymore. That was
It's
like
more of a mystery or like exploration, mystery, survival,
yeah.
like The Martian and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
The
then what
one I
was that?
forgot.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
it
ahead.
was like it's like that one I can't think of the name of the movie though. That's the problem. It's the one where I don't remember. I can't even tell you about it. But it's like these newer sci-fi. It's like more like The Martian, like
Survival ones.
Underwater was pretty close. Like Underwater had kind of an appeal, like it's like a almost Leviathan.
Yeah,
that
I
just
want to
came
see
out.
that.
I had my doubts about it because everybody said, oh, it's just like Alien. I'm like, yeah, but that's why I want to watch it. Like it seems familiar. I don't care if this movie is an old comfortable pair of pants, I'll wear them. That's
yeah.
fine. And it stylistically, that's the thing. The set design in that movie is great.
Yeah.
Just the overall look of it, it's just like, are you going to see where it's going? Yeah, but that's fine. I thought it was, that's I guess that's an honorable mention. I mean,
I do want to see that movie.
for a newer movie that had to do that,
Yeah.
or that has to have that kind of action. There's going to be bits of gross. There's going to be bits of monsters. Yeah, it covers those bases. I'm not going to say it's the best movie in the world, but I will say that it was a movie that I enjoyed.
Interesting. So
Super 8. That was the one I forgot to put on my list.
Super. I've never seen it. It's like a kids on bikes type of movie, though, right?
Yeah, it is. And allegedly, I don't know the whole thing. I didn't look deep into it, but allegedly, there's like this connection with Cloverfield and
That's
and
what
all
I've heard that. I've
that
never seen.
That one kind of burns out at the end because it just becomes a big slimy monster that they're running from, and you just see like bits and pieces of it. But just the whole buildup of there's like a lot of cool Monster Kid stuff in the beginning, like talking about like the Dick Smith makeup book and like old Fangorias and stuff like that. It's definitely on the chin. I grew up in the late 60s, early 70s. I was a Monster Kid. Threw that in there. And then like the nods to Spielberg with the young filmmaker and his obsessive nature and all that. And then the big train crash, which is a really cool idea that they were transporting something in a train, but it's got all the classic kids on bike tropes in there too. But I do kind of fade off at the end because it then just becomes a big monster, like a not interesting kind of monster movie.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I probably will never watch it.
Watch the first half hour is cool because you get to see like
You'll like it, yeah.
kids' rooms and bikes and stealing cars and that kind
Yeah,
of
but
stuff.
then like you might as well just watch Monster Squad.
You're right.
Enjoy it the whole way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was somebody. It's got to be somebody's like passion project kind of thing.
Yeah, didn't Steven Spielberg even direct it?
Yeah,
I think so.
Like yeah.
So yeah, I mean maybe someday I'll get to it. But Joey, it's time. We finally hit our top 6 after.
We've been on for 4 hours, and here we go.
Yeah, I told you it was going to be a long one.
This is good.
Did
good
you tell her?
conversation.
Did you tell her to put the sauce on simmer though? Right?
Oh man, there's no raviolis left. I ate them all. There's nothing left. The kids ate them all. I ate them all. No more rabs.
That's all right. That's what we're here. That we're burning the midnight oil on this one. I did.
Chug glug.
Yep. I put the disclaimer out. I said it's gonna be a long episode.
Long one.
Here we are. Got a long way to go still, but that's okay. It's Saturday night.
It's Saturday night in the Mozzarella Mausoleum,
Yep.
and we're gonna get deep into it. Number
All right.
6.
Number 6, Joe. Oh no, yeah, we'll let the guests. We'll be
Yes,
gentlemen. Gentlemen, Joey. We're gentlemen.
Okay. My number 6 pick is Cube.
Oh, yeah, that almost made my list. You've never seen
I'm
Cube,
Cube
Joey?
familiar with this one.
Oh,
No, man.
yeah, it's
Um,
definitely a good one.
The first Cube, I just, this is pre-escape room anything. I like the idea with a movie just dropping you into an environment that's like as unsuspecting as anything. It's just like it's all white. There's just different paths you can go, and there's different elements to it, and something will probably kill you in a weird way. And it just keeps going, and I just love the idea with it. Just the first one alone, I just really, really enjoyed the style of that movie. I thought it was kind of a welcome breath of fresh air for that kind of concept. It's like it was sci-fi horror.
Yep.
Haven't seen it in a while, but it did come to mind. I was like, yeah, that is a movie that I enjoyed. Just good premise, a little bit of, blood and guts, and works for me.
Yep. It reminded me of Hellraiser Bloodlines
Yes.
out of all the movies.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
So
they made that cube to trap him in the end in the future.
yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
Cube. We'll see. There's actually a Neon Lord adventure being made, like
Really?
that revolves around Cube. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
That's awesome.
but it's more. It's actually Snakes and Ladders meets Cube the movie
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
in a whammy burger factory.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
let
awesome.
put that one in the sauce, Joey, and let that simmer a
Nice,
little bit.
man. Yeah, I just read a quick description of Cube. That sounds awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's definitely worth a watch. It's
Yes.
that quintessential 90s amazingness.
it
that-
does have the 90s late CG, so just expect
Yeah, sure.
some of that.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't even be surprised if like Full Moon Pictures put it out. Like
Yeah,
it's like
that's-
it's up there with like Puppet Master.
That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like. That's from what I'm reading. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Mhm.
So Joey, you want to do your number 6? I'll go. I'll be the gentleman and go
Oh,
last.
okay. All right. I can do that. My number 6, well, that was my number 6. My number 5
Well, I meant
is Robot.
see,
Oh.
we got two Joe.
We got two
Oh,
Joeys.
God.
You're Joe. He's
All right,
Joey.
I'm out.
No, you're good.
I'm out. I'm
You're good.
gonna shut my
No,
mouth.
no,
and
no. I
let-
knew
that's all right.
I knew this was gonna happen.
So the door has been opened.
Uh-oh.
This is
Uh-oh.
the movie that messed me up bad, man. Let's just say the night started out in a dark cornfield with this kid I used to hang out with who was bad news.
Okay.
And I ended up in this theater and I was not right for a long time.
Is this a true story?
True story.
Okay, I love it.
Event Horizon.
Oh yeah. See, I'm glad I just skimmed over it.
That's on mine.
Event Horizon, man. I watched it again last night for the first time in a long time just to refresh my memory. And it was just as weird as I saw it that first time after that crazy cornfield trip. Like,
Yeah.
Event Horizon is a messed up movie.
Yep.
And then I was excited to read, as you had brought up, the connection, because I'm starting to do my research in Warhammer. That's a new world for me. But since I've been hanging with you, I've been getting into it a little bit more. And they kind of consider that a prequel.
Mhm.
But I mean, you brought up Hellraiser. That's got everything. That's like Hellraiser, Alien, all this stuff thrown together in this mishmash of craziness. That is not good for your brain.
Well,
I love it. I
and
love it.
not only is it a phenomenal movie, you got Sam Neill, which Jurassic Park
Yeah.
didn't even make any of the lists for me, but Jurassic Park, honorable mention right there. Is it Lawrence Fishburne is in
Yeah,
it too?
man. Cowboy
Yeah.
Curtis is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Fish ring, yeah.
Cowboy Curtis doesn't wear pajamas. He sleeps in the nude, by the way. If you remember that episode where they have a PJ party like a overnight,
Yes,
like a sleep
yes.
party, and then Cowboy Curtis doesn't have pajamas because he sleeps in the nude.
What a wonderful show. That was so. There was so
Anyway,
many
yeah.
elements.
So
Yeah, man.
not only do you have a phenomenal movie off the bat, and then like the cathedral, like the ships and everything, but the backstory of the deleted scenes that got that were found in like salt mines in Transylvania.
Oh yeah.
Like,
So yes, that's right, man. What
23
happened?
yeah, I don't know.
23 minutes of
Yeah,
well, I researched this because this is my favorite story because this is what I always hold out hope for, and it'll probably never happen. So the thing is, they store a lot of that footage in the salt mines because they won't deteriorate the original film stock. That's the whole story of why people would put a film, originals in a salt mine so it won't, decay. Supposedly, the initial shots of this movie, where it was 23 minutes longer, and they said
right.
all of the stuff cut was just gore.
Yeah, the like
It's
the
like
the flashback, the flashback section where
Yeah,
the
like where
captain's
they
log
find out, yeah,
section,
where they find out what happened to the original crew.
which
yes,
is
There's
yeah.
like, yeah, awful stuff that like
they had,
poles inserting into places where poles shouldn't go, like wild chaos ensued. The chaos gods.
involuntary dentistry and
Yeah,
much more.
yep, good
They
stuff.
Sitting in a salt
yeah.
mine.
Yeah, in Transylvania of all places.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine that movie. Like the energy, they caught something bad on the film and it soaks into the salt of Transylvania. Oh man.
Yeah, and then you get Count Orlok.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, what a story on that.
That's
So-
mine. That's my number 6, man. Event Horizon. I've never been
that
the
movie-
same since that fateful night.
I saw it in the theater, and I was expecting a sci-fi movie, and I did not expect the horror angle to it. Because even the trailers, you want to talk about a trailer that's misleading, it drops you into a meat grinder. And
Literally.
that movie, literally, it terrified me. And I'm like, God, this is like weird for me that I was even spooked by it, but still, that's a movie that comes back and haunts me a little bit. So
all right, well, I'm glad that you both are sick and demented, so I'm going to go to my number 6. Keep it light and fluffy for the kids. I'm going with the Ice Pirates.
Yep. Great choice. Robert, you're
Joey.
No,
Joey.
that's another one,
Joey.
man. I'm
Joey.
telling you.
You've never seen Ice Pirates?
I'm gonna get kicked off the show.
Oh my
No,
god.
I haven't seen Ice Pirates.
Ever. Have you ever heard
a lot
of
of
it?
people haven't.
No, I've never even heard of it.
Wow.
Joey. Space
1984?
herpes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ron
Whoa,
Perlman.
this looks good.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. I was hoping Ice Pirates.
There's
Joey.
so much good to say about Ice Pirates. I mean, that's the thing, because it is definitely, like, I would say like a B, like even C grade movie, but it's so much fun. There's so many good fun things about that. That should be the next movie you watch, if it possible.
Ice
In my
Pirates.
opinion.
I don't know. The Ice Pirates.
Angelica Houston. Oh,
Yep.
Bruce Valanche is in it. Bruce Valanche
Yes.
and Ron. Oh, forget it. I'm watching it.
Let me look at our list. Let me look at our list here real quick for our our
For the
Popcorn Primavera.
For the Popcorn Primavera.
Yeah, I don't know if it made the
Bruce
initial.
Valanche, Angelica Houston, John Carradine,
Yeah.
Ron
Ron Perlman. My God, no, man, I can't believe this.
It's not on the list, but I'll put it in the liner notes that it'll be added.
That
'Cause-
warrants a watch. It's
I got it on DVD, so we're good to go, Joey.
I knew coming into this too that I was not going to know half of these. You guys are deep
Oh.
diggers.
Jared said it's on the list. I don't see it. Maybe I'm just not reading, or maybe he just I don't know.
Ice
maybe
Pirates. All right.
it's on there. Oh,
Yep.
well. Yep. Oh man, yeah. Save it. Watch the trailer and then expect it. It's funny. It's got some funny parts. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's got space herpes. I put space herpes in Neon Lords because of that movie. You know, it's another honorable mention is the heavy metal movie. I didn't put it on
Yeah.
my
Oh
list.
yeah, sure.
that would have been a good one. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I didn't think about it either, but yeah, it probably should have made it on the list. Honorable mention for sure. Oh, you're good, Jared. But yeah, it's on the honorable. So once we watch anything but Munchie or Mac and Me, then Ice Pirates will get put on the list. It's I don't want to talk about it because I feel bad. I want you to go in like not knowing anything about it. You know, let me just say one thing about it real quick,
Yeah,
Joey.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So it's got it's so if you watched Ice Pirates and Spaceballs together, it would be like a great double feature.
Wow. That's a good. I'm sold right there, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, it definitely has that. It definitely has the Spaceballs.
All right.
Not as much. Like
Yeah.
Spaceballs is just like obviously like Spaceballs, which would have been another honorable
Yeah, it would have been
mention.
a good one too. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's up there. It's pretty close to it. Like I know my wife hates it. I made her watch it.
Oh
Like
man.
yeah, she can't stand
Yeah,
it.
that's not a good date night movie. I've learned because I've done the same thing, and it was just like, "Are you serious?"
This
I'm like,
sounds right up my
"Yeah."
alley. This
Okay.
sounds right up my alley.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was one of those movies that I saw the box VHS box at a rental store and like did you look at the cover, Joey?
Yeah, I did. I did. I saw the big vehicle and all that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that big vehicle. Yep. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. And we'll go to
All
Joe
right.
Martin
This is
aka Lawman's number 5.
AKA Lawman number 5. My number 5 pick is, and this is mainly for VHS rental nostalgia for myself, was Robot Jocks.
Yeah, I
Oh.
heard you say it. I heard you
You
say
heard me
it.
say it, and I said it too soon, so I'm sorry. There was a
No,
little.
no, no, no,
All
you're good.
right.
I'm a huge Robot Jocks, Robot Wars fan, which the
Yeah,
Robot Wars, aka two robots fighting at the end for the last five
that's
minutes.
it.
That's
But
it.
Yeah,
Robot Jocks, I believe, is the sequel to Robot Wars, though.
Robot Jocks is the sequel to Robot Wars.
Or is it the other way around?
I think it's the other way around. I think
Okay.
Robot Jocks is the one that quote unquote has money, which it does. They have a little bit. The thing is like even Robot Jocks, there's like 2.5 fights in it,
Yeah.
but that was enough for me because I
Yeah.
was just like, I was a big fan of BattleTech and all the ideas of these slow lumbering mecha type robots, and it's like it's nothing like. It's not like a Pacific Rim where everything's fast and
Yes.
flashy and all of this stuff. It's like, no, it's all stop motion. It's all I believe it's Empire Pictures that did it, because I think it's a Stuart Gordon movie. I could be wrong.
You know, uh, yeah, go ahead. I'm
Yes, it
listening. I
is.
just
Yeah,
actually
is.
have
it
my
is.
Robot Wars Blu-ray right here because
It's right here.
I got a box. So like as I'm
Always
packing,
on hand.
as I'm
Yeah.
packing though, I have a box of pasta or popcorn Primavera movies, and it's like, yeah, my Robot Wars right there.
There it is. Boy,
Yeah,
that movie,
it's
it sure is different.
I mean, it's from Full Moon Pictures, but I don't know if like
Yeah.
they picked it up, or they actually put it out.
You can always count on Full Moon.
I love.
Yeah. See, that was gonna be
I'm a huge Full Moon fan.
Oh geez, what is the movie that they had it's a full moon sci-fi movie with this, it's definitely Space Cowboy, and I just lost it. George Takei's in it. Oh no, I just lost it. It's
Takai.
that's gonna kill me. Anyway, that's an honorable mention movie that should have been. We're thinking about Full Moon in that movie, and it's gonna come back to me.
George Takei, Full Moon.
Yeah, it was a movie that he wasn't like a big role in it. I'm just trying to think of what was that Tom Cruise movie that came out with, it was like a sci-fi movie, it was a couple years ago. It was Oblivion. There you go. The movie, it was called Oblivion, but it's a full moon movie.
Yeah.
And it's all, full moon level what you expect, except it's set in space and it's literally space cowboys. That's a fun movie that usually I think they did a riff tracks of it because how could you not? That's another honorable mention, but yeah,
90.
Robot Jocks and Oblivion.
Oh, there's a sequel to it too.
Yes, there is.
Oh yeah, I've seen the cover, but I've never watched it. It's definitely
Most people haven't. It's not great, but it's good enough. I enjoy it for what it is.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, this is it's a full moon experience.
Hell yeah, I'm all about it.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Robot
Okay.
Jocks. Yep, classic, like classic VHS rental pickup as a
Yeah.
kid. Like, I mean, who doesn't like giant robots, right?
Yep.
Like Jet
It kind of
Jaguar.
goes.
The
Yeah.
Genesis era.
Yeah, Jet
It kind.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jet Jaguar is the greatest thing to ever come out of Godzilla. Let's be honest. Like,
Mhm. It kind of goes in line with Gunhead, which I had wished I had seen around that era
yeah.
because of just that level of, you know, that mechanical tech kind of thing. I just I've, you know, that's something I saw much later, and I still appreciated it. But man, if I saw it when I was a kid, I would just lost my mind.
Oh, absolutely. Gunhead is like what Robot Jocks like wishes it was.
Mhm.
But like
Absolutely.
I still love Robot Jocks, so I'm a huge fan. I love the name,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
JOX too, like
Yeah.
great stuff all around.
You're I mean, I definitely know you're a big Genesis player. Have you ever played the game Death Duel?
Death Duel, I have not.
Okay, it's a very no-name game, but it's meant to where you are a robot and you are fighting like in a first-person kind of view against monsters and other robots, giant robots, and it seems like it's right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
You might want to.
looking at it right now. I've never seen this.
Yeah,
I never
it's a
Oh,
seen.
weird one.
like I've seen screenshots of it. Yeah, I've seen screenshots of it. But I've
Yeah,
never like the cover's phenomenal.
yeah, that's a thing that it's a selling cover. It like looks really cool, and it's you shoot arms and legs off of monsters while you're fighting, and you can get them down to nubs. And
Yeah.
this is like a pre-Mortal Kombat kind of level, like of just you know, suggested violence, you know, but in a Genesis game, it's pretty great.
So I have
Without going
oh, go ahead.
with, without going too far down a rabbit hole, because I love my tangential rabbit holes. Can you remind me, or does anybody remember a Sega Genesis game where you are a mech, but like you could like customize your mech and you could fight each
Cyborg
other?
Justice.
Is
Yep.
that like could you get a blade hand?
Yep, Cyborg
Oh,
Justice.
That's it.
Thank you. I
Cyborg
knew you would
Justice.
know it. I've been trying to figure out what that game was forever.
Yep. You could
I
pull
love that
you
game.
could pull arms off.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like that was like when we got the Genesis, that was like one of the Christmas, you get the package of the games with it and stuff. Not
Yes.
necessarily in the box, but like my dad,
Yeah.
he loved that game. We used to play it. So I
That
actually
was
have
fun.
the Genesis Mini because
Yeah.
you can just hack it and put whatever Genesis ROMs you want on it.
Yep.
And so I have
Same.
Cyborg Justice on it right now. Joey's-
Genesis was like perfect for this genre. Like I'm not gonna get on. I could go on for
No,
for
I
days
mean
with it.
we got nothing but time, baby.
That's it.
What was
I'm-
that Genesis? All right, fine then. What was that Genesis game where like you were a cop and you would drive
Technocop.
Yeah,
Techno Cop. Yes,
Techno Cop is really
What's the
good
game
too.
with the cop? Techno Cop. Exactly, Joe.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Techno Cop's
That was
awesome. I
awesome.
want to say it was an arcade game too.
Yeah.
I could be
Probably,
wrong.
yeah.
There.
That game was awesome. It's like crackheads and
I think. Yeah. There was E-SWAT. There was.
E-SWAT.
E-SWAT.
E-SWAT's
Oh,
another
so
good one.
awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Genesis is like the ultimate, the best system. Well,
Yep.
best 16-bit. I mean, you got blast
agree.
processing.
It's all there. Yep.
Yeah. None of that mode 7 crap. We don't need it. We got blast processing.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna go. Yeah,
It's hard
I'm gonna have
because
to watch some playthroughs.
yeah, it's hard because like I mean, Super Nintendo's got some great games, but man, nothing beats the
does.
Genesis.
No,
Yeah.
Genesis is another flavor, man. That's like comparing ice cream and sherbet. It's like two different.
No, Joey. That's like comparing gelato to sherbet.
There you go. Well, well put. Yes.
Like
Yeah, two different things completely, man. And as I get older, I even when I was younger, you knew Genesis was weird. Like there was just a weird thing to it. It was always a little grimy. You know,
Had
it's
an
like
edge to it. Yeah.
yeah.
go
I
ahead,
mean,
go play your Nintendo, but like there was weird. You could get weird stuff.
Oh
for
yeah,
Genesis.
I love the Genesis. I still play everything off it. Like I know,
Mhm.
like we definitely talk about. I could talk about Genesis for hours.
Yeah.
Just-
Like there was like 3 kids on my street, and you would go from house to house because they each had like the different system. You
yeah,
had your Super Nintendo kid, you had like your Genesis kid. I wish we had a TurboGrafx 16 kid, but we
I
never
had
did.
one.
Yeah,
I
you
had a
had one.
TurboGrafx 16 friend, not me.
Oh,
I didn't have
shit.
one. I've never
Oh, you
owned
had a
it,
friend.
but I
Yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
known a friend who had it, and I'm like, oh man, these games are weird. Let's go play Keith Courage in the Alpha Zones, and then we did, and then
I
it was
never
like, this
knew
is so weird.
never knew a kid who had TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah.
I
I'm
wish
still I'm still trying to find one.
I did.
Oh God, yeah,
I'm still trying. It's hard, and it's like
yeah.
they're.
It
I
is
mean,
hard.
obviously they're not cheap, but like what
Yeah.
they very rarely ever come. I mean, I'm sure they're on there now. I said that last night. I was in a podcast and I was like looking for this module for Paranoia, and I'm like, it's never on there. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's there, and I look, and there's like 5 copies on eBay, and I'm like, all right, well now there is.
Well, it wasn't when I looked.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, TurboGrafx. I've always wanted one. That's another one I have like all the ROMs for. I actually have like the
Same.
I in the thing the Retroid. I have like a little emulator. It's
Yeah.
like all TurboGrafx games because like the Die Hard game on that is insanely awesome.
Yeah, I have
Oh,
mine sitting
nice,
here.
nice.
That's my that's the Pi for it though. That's
Oh, awesome.
the Pi Mini. But yeah, I did the same thing with mine. This is one of them. It's another thing I do on the side. Just build them
that's
over
cool.
and over constantly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have the Retroid 2.
yeah, that one's
I
good.
I like it a lot. I actually as we
Mm.
like totally get derailed, but yeah, the
Sorry, guys.
no,
It's
you're
my
fine.
fault.
I needed
I
to know
brought up
what the
Death Duel.
titles were.
No,
I
you're
needed
good.
to know, and I knew you
You're
guys
good.
would read the brain waves.
It's all good. That's what we're here for. People like the tangents, I'm sure. I'm sure everyone left. Now we're just talking. I mean, you're talking I had the Sega CD, I had the 32X, I had the Infiltrator, I think it was or the
Oh
Menacer.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Menacer,
yeah.
Menacer.
I had the gun. I had a backpack you could put on to feel the hits.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, the haptic feedback one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that thing.
Yeah, so you ever play Urban Strike, Jungle Strike and Desert Strike?
Yes,
So like there's it's like you're a helicopter just running
helicopter.
around, yeah, doing a bunch of like sandboxy missions. It was like Grand Theft Auto before Grand Theft Auto essentially.
Oh wow.
So it was pretty cool. So like there's no soundtrack to it. All you hear is just the thud of the blades, right? And then like the rockets go off and stuff. I put that backpack on and I almost puked, Joey. I swear, like it hurt so bad, like because you could feel the
Turn it
punches.
off.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
I was like, I
Oh,
couldn't.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't handle it. That thing, like,
That's
what a
great.
trip.
So you were a Sega connoisseur. I had the original Sega.
Oh,
That was
Master
at my
System.
The
grandmother's
Master
house.
System.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the colors in that was that once again totally different than. I mean, that's a whole other planet than Nintendo.
Yeah,
That same friend who had the TurboGrafx 16 had the Master System.
Yeah, yeah. The Master System. That gun was cool. I think that gun was cooler than the Nintendo gun.
Absolutely. I like
Oh,
the controllers with the square.
yeah,
yeah,
the Menacer greater than the Super Scope.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Menacer the one I had came with the Terminator 2 arcade game.
Yeah.
So
Oh wow.
obviously, like that's a no-brainer.
Mhm.
I love that game.
Remember the Aerosmith game? You ever
Yeah,
played the
Revolution
Revolution
X.
X.
Yeah, you
I
throw
beat that
CDs.
game in the arcade with a homeless guy.
Hell yeah!
That must have been a wonderful time.
It was a wonderful time.
All right,
I
Joey.
used to work with Joe Perry's son.
Yeah, because they're from New Hampshire.
Yeah, yeah, he worked
That's
at
cool.
with me.
All
Nice
right,
kid.
your number 5. Number 5, Joey.
My number 5,
Yeah.
new to me, and I'm a big fan. I got to watch it again because it is so complex. I'm still trying to figure it out. Buckaroo Banzai.
All right.
Oh my
Put
goodness.
a pin in it.
Okay. All right. Nice. Nice. See, now I'm back on. Now I'm back on the
Yeah.
show. Now I'm back in the Cool Kids Club.
We
All
might
right,
actually.
I'll leave it at
All right. So my number 5 might have to put a pin too, because I'm sure someone has it. John Carpenter, Roddy Piper, They Live.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Phenomenal.
didn't know where to put it on this list. I couldn't fit it in, but I absolutely loved that one.
Yep. So like, great fight scene. I love Roddy Piper. Hell Comes to Frogtown. You know, like
Yeah,
we've gushed
yeah.
over that movie. I actually have Robert Zadar, Hell Comes to Frogtown 2, in the box, waiting for us to watch it.
Oh,
I
nice.
haven't even
Excellent.
cracked
So
it.
you got it.
Yep, I got it.
Yep.
So They
So
Live,
they live.
sci-fi, sci-fi. It's got that Mars Attacks feel to it. It's like
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that like Bart versus the Space Mutants feel
Yes.
to
Well.
it too.
Yep.
I feel like they totally copped They Live on that game, but a secret
I had never
invasion,
thought of that, but yeah,
because
that's actually really cool.
he puts the
He
glasses
has the
on.
X-ray specs on, and that's where he sees the thing. Yeah, I never put the They Live connection there. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's got that secret invasion feel. But I mean, are they actually invading though? Necessarily they've already
They
infiltrated.
have.
Yeah,
They're done.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I won't spill the beans yet, but it's not on my list because I went back to what I consider like a little bit more of a source material for another one that's on my list. But They Live, definitely, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
great
what cool
movie.
bad guys too. That's just so iconic.
Yep.
That makeup.
And then like the color to black and white to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
here to chew bubble gum. I'm all out of bubble gum. Here, kick ass to
Yep.
chew bubble gum. All out of bubble gum. Like
Yep.
John Carpenter is like. I mean, we probably talk about him like more than anything on here too.
Master of all trades, man. That guy just nails it. He's one of my favorite musicians.
Yeah.
Like favorite musical artists.
Do you ever hear his like he's got like actual albums out?
Yeah. I listen to him on Spotify. Like
Lost Themes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Those are great.
Yeah, he
seems like a nice guy to hang out with too. I don't know. Just watching interviews, he seems like unaffected by everything.
He's a Sega Genesis fan.
Is he really?
Is he?
Yeah, that's one of the things that he brings with him. He's always having to watch basketball, and he always has he plays Sonic the Hedgehog like crazy. That's the thing that I know about him. So that's a weird one to imagine, but
Sonic
it's a big Genesis.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good games.
I love it. But yeah, so I mean,
So
Big
They
Trouble.
Live.
Yeah, They Live. Big Trouble Little China. Like John Carpenter could be the whole top 6. I would put Big Trouble Little China sci-fi for sure.
Yeah. That's something I actually thought about when going into this too. One of my favorites. That's like on the shelf.
Yeah, we talked about it in episode 2.
That's like such a great movie that just goes on the wall of fame as all-encompassing great film for the Ravioli Planet.
Oh, absolutely. That's like Chef's Kiss. That's like the golden ravioli.
Oh, you got something there, man. Write that down.
I think we talked. I think we talked about the golden ravioli.
Golden ravioli.
I'll put it in the
like
show
that.
notes.
We might have to have an awards show one day.
The problem is we don't watch modern movies, so like.
I know. Why should you? Why would we watch modern movies? Seriously, look at this treasure trove.
Yeah, there's no need. Yeah. I really have no interest in anything that's ever.
It's all here. Yeah.
What new movies? And I know somebody will say, well, this one, that one. Yeah. But like just overall, the amount of quality that still resonates to this day from this very distinct time period of within 10 to 15 years that we are constantly consuming, that we completely fawn about, and that has influenced so much of what we do. This is a giant chunk of just like a giant juicy pear that we still keep on chomping at. Nobody's going to like, regardless of all the theaters are closed or not, there's not stuff coming out like X-Men. I love X-Men, but like, that's not, I don't know, maybe it'll influence younger kids or something. Maybe I'm the old man on the porch right now.
I don't know. I hate the X-Men movies.
I'm talking about X-Men like comics, like
absolutely.
A little kid might really love the movies, but yeah, I get those aren't my X-Men in the movies,
because
those aren't my X-Men.
They needed to make it in the 90s, and Glenn Danzig needed to be Wolverine.
Oh, absolutely, man, 100% agree.
Missed opportunity 100%. On that one.
Yep, absolutely.
That's like, I'll die on that hill again.
Yep.
With Mars Attacks, Glenn Danzig, and then he makes like movies now.
I don't want to judge. I don't want to judge before watching it, but what's the one? It's a like a female goth name.
Veronica.
Yeah. I don't even know if I want to touch that one.
Well, there's like the vampire cowboy movie though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw it. Well, I saw a picture of him. I have not seen the actual film.
Let me just pull up the name of this movie because do they not?
For what it's worth, it looks better than Veronica.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was my takeaway from it. I was like, oh well, there's your starting point, I guess.
I'm sure.
I want to take a road trip to Lodi.
Death Rider in the House of Vampires. I'll just leave it at that. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just reading the chats. Vienna beef.
How's everybody doing in the chat?
Everybody's good. He says,
Good.
Garrett, Vienna beef. It says these are for our shows. Expose ravioli shows expose people to old movies, but ones they haven't seen. You guys are doing good work. Randy's work.
Thank you. All hail Lord Randy.
So, what were we talking about?
So we were talking about, we put a pin in Buckaroo Banzai.
Yep.
And then we got to They Live.
They Live.
Okay. Yeah.
Carpenter and everything in between.
So it's Joe, aka Lawman's
Lawman.
number 4.
All right. This is one that I don't know how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna say it. Kurt Russell and Soldier.
Yep. Soldier.
Phenomenal movie.
Yeah, that's
connected to Blade Runner in name and by actions and all that other stuff, and that's just a phenomenal movie. I think it's a very, very underappreciated classic sci-fi movie that that brings a lot, and it does it a lot. The first act of it, where they do it with just like just action, like Kurt Russell barely says anything in that movie. It's just awesome. Like that's all I have to say about it. It's just that's one that I can always watch.
Yeah. It's
and his name is Todd. That's a great
Todd.
name for a hero.
Yeah.
Todd.
Yeah. It's a great movie. It definitely is underrated because I feel like something must have came out that same year because it doesn't get the love.
It didn't do very well. Yeah,
No.
It didn't do very well at all, and I thought it was very unappreciated because that movie, just when I saw it, it did well in rental for me because that's how I initially saw it because I missed it in the theater. But I watched it a lot with my friends, and that was just a movie that we went back to a lot. So anyway.
So I'm wondering about that. Like, what else came out in '98? And then I'm looking at this list. I'm like, oh, well, that's why.
All right. On that note, Joey, let's take a quick break because we're going longer than our normal, so everyone can
all right.
take a potty break real quick.
All right, cool.
So I'm gonna we'll be right back.
Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland will be right back. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game. Game over.
Welcome back to Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Strap back in.
Hell yeah. And we're back. We were talking about Soldier. That was Joe Law Dog's number 4. So that goes to my co-host Joey Royale's number 4.
So this is the one that took the place of They Live Just Out of Respect, and that's the 70s Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That movie, just the whole concept of it and just the building tension. And then, like I've said this before, I love any movie that ends on a bad note. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Sutherland.
That's like, yeah. I was about to say it was, Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland. Yeah, I used to have a shirt with him doing that on it because it was just so great. It's such a great
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, original 50s movie, right?
Yeah. Well, early 60s, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll call it 50s.
Yeah, we'll call it 50s movie. Yeah. Original, with the pods and all that, and just the old switcheroo. You can't trust anybody.
So then you got it in the 70s.
Yep, it came back out again in the 70s.
I believe in the 90s too, right?
Did it? I'm not familiar with that one.
I'm seeing a VHS in my head of like the pod.
Yep.
I got to look this up because now
they relaunch it a lot. They find different ways to repackage it and bring it back. Because it's a classic.
It hits. It hits on the on that level.
I don't know if it was.
One of my favorite posters of all time too. It's like them running through. It looks like a desert scene or something, and with the veins. But I saw that one on TV. I don't know what it was on.
Yeah, it was Body Snatchers. Of course, in the 90s they had to 93. They had to change it up. Body Snatchers. If you see the cover, you're gonna remember it from like that VHS wall, 1,000%. I guarantee it.
And as Joe said before, it's funny. I laugh because I think about the color of movies, just in general, they're patina. And to me, this is a very orange movie as well, too.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what your 50s schlock drive-in doo-wop movie is going to be, Joey. You better not let me down.
Well, no, it's like I kind of stayed see, that's the thing. I could have gone down so many paths with this, and I tried to learn some new stuff because for so long, like junior high especially, I was deep into to the 50s, 60s schlock. Like I have a list on the side that weren't runner up. It's like a completely different list for sci-fi. And like real quick, it's like The Fly, War of the Colossal Beast, the Colossal Man, all those Burt I. Gordon films, all the giant insect films. But that's like its own meatball over here. I wanted to get, I'm thinking about Neon Lords and Lawman and stuff too. I had to push I didn't grow up watching a lot of these films. It was the schlock stuff. So over the past 2 weeks, I have just become a glutton, and I'm just consuming all these new kind of more future tech kind of stuff. But I did smatter in some of the old classics. So
all right, that's
this
good.
was a learning
So
experience.
what's the one? So like when I was a kid, I had like this like VHS like box set of like Journey to Mars,
Yeah.
Giant Gila Monster,
Yeah.
and then there was one that there was like the Attack of the Killer Shrews. Is that what it's
The
called?
shrews. Yeah.
It's like dogs with just like furs put on them.
Yep. Yeah. Which is gross. Like they look really gross.
You got like the robot monster.
Yeah, the robot monster. I actually I made a custom robot monster Mego figure years ago that I'm really proud of. It was the first time I ever made a box for a figure. I'll bring that on sometime. But
okay.
Yeah, that was.
So your number.
Oh,
no, you
yeah,
got it.
that's a whole other ball. That the schlock.
Oh, so like
I was just thinking about. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead. I
was just thinking about Night of the Lepus when you're talking about big animals and stuff, and thinking about that with the bunnies running and DeForest Kelly in that movie and all that stuff.
Joey. No, you're good. You let me down, Joey.
I let you down.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm trying to keep up with the cool guys out in Neoterics.
Yeah,
I'm going down a whole new world. But I'll show you sometimes. In 7th grade or in 8th grade, I did a documentary for a class called "The History of Horror," and it's the chronology of the horror movie. And my dad just finally burned a bunch of VHSs onto a thumb drive, so you'll see a young Joey Royale in Cedar Grove Cemetery talking about the schlock.
So
for sure.
It's interesting. So from the inception, well, not inception, I shouldn't say that. So back when you could start into like Zelda, right? You could put your name in, like your character.
Yeah.
Up until modern day, I picked the same name. And you know what that name is, Joey?
What's that?
It's Gort. Gort.
Yeah.
You know what? What 50s sci-fi movie is that from?
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yep, that's where I got.
Yeah.
That's where I got it from.
Once again, another amazing movie.
Yeah,
like that's the metal UFO, very simple, and then the alien. They either were for the good of humans and humans would kill them, or they were bad for humans and they would kill all the humans. There was no gray there. I love it.
Yeah. You know what we never talked about either? We're talking about this like 50 sci-fi. Kodos and Kang from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I had the figures for it forever, and I don't know whatever happened to them. But man, like, what a great like character design, you know?
Yeah.
Like just like the tentacles with just like the Mars Attacks, like
with the bulb,
glass
anything
dome.
with the bulb I'm into. Yeah. Yep, they were great, highly intelligent, you know.
Yeah, Treehouse of Horror, like that's a whole nother. Oh, Joey, that's another episode we could do. That's Halloween specials.
Yes, very very good idea.
But so while we're on other episodes, I told you I had the idea for the next one. Right?
Yeah. So he sent me a text today saying I have an idea for number 6.
Episode 6. Sequels.
Ooh,
the sequels episode.
Right. Yeah,
strictly sequels, not remakes. Sequels, part 2s.
Yeah, sequels, strictly sequels. Well, it could be not. It could be 3s or 4s, but it's got to be not originals.
Yeah,
not originals, but within canon. Yep. Okay. Yep. Very good. I like that a lot. So there's a lot of good ones.
Put your thinking cap on about that one.
Oh, I got a number 1 already. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. It's Home
All
Alone
right, I
2,
can't.
Lost in
That's
New York.
Very
All right.
close, man. Yeah.
All right. So
So Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's
that's
my back.
it's another, speaking of like this 50 sci-fi, stick on here for 1 second. The movie, I couldn't think of it, was a kids movie. It was Invaders from Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one, another great cover. Yes.
That
Yeah.
got that
The
invasion of the
Toby
body
Hooper one.
snatchers. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Yeah.
like pennies. I feel like there was
Yeah.
something to do with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Mhm.
great movie. That's an invasion of the body
Yeah.
snatchers type thing too. When
Yeah.
they got the
I gotta rewatch that one. That's
they,
a great call.
like the wounds in their neck
Mhm.
that they hide with the bandages.
Yeah.
That's a great
That's
one.
a great one, man. Well done.
I just thought of
What
it.
was your
So
4?
my number 4, Demolition Man.
Let's
Okay.
talk about
Yeah,
Demolition Man.
let's get into it. What this? I love this movie. It's so low on the list, but it's so high in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, like there's what else do you need? I am obsessed. Obviously, I wrote a whole book about it, about like futuristic things that like it's just insane, like Idiocracy, right? Like that's
Yeah.
that into the future that's gone haywire, right?
Mhm.
Like Demolition Man is essentially that. Like, you got your our time, our like man out of time, right? He gets frozen. He gets frozen, gets woken up when Phoenix, what's his name? Phoenix
Simon
something.
Phoenix. What is
Yeah,
it?
Simon
Simon
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon Phoenix breaks out. He's like a madman from like the 90s or whatever. Like, I don't even think it's 90s at that point. I think
He was from the 90s. It was in the future of 1996, and the
yeah.
movie came out in 1993 or 1994.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, so he
Because
was
it opens on that beautiful shot of LA on fire.
yeah, and then he saves the girl. He saves the girl, and then like the reporter is like, like you just did $10 million in damage, like to save her, and she's like, screw you, lady. Like, great line, great movie. Taco Bell, everyone knows
Yes.
Taco
Yep.
Bell.
Yep.
3 seashells, the verbal morality law. Like,
What this was ahead of its time, and
oh,
this was my
absolutely.
first exposure to Wesley Snipes. I thought he was the coolest dude in the world.
Yep. Wesley Snipes, like best Wesley Snipes. I mean, I love Blade. Don't get me wrong, but like,
Yeah. Oh,
he
that's good.
he
Good.
he hams it up in this. Like, he is unbelievably awesome. Like, I'm a huge Sylvester Stallone fan. So like,
Yep.
already you got like what, Jack Spartan or John
Yes,
Spartan?
Jackson. Yeah.
John Spartan.
Yep. John
Man,
Spartan
and
is
blink
like,
and you'll miss him, but Jesse Ventura is in that movie.
Is he? Yeah.
He
Is
is
he?
lead. He is a lead bad guy. He's one of the creeps that they bring out of cryo prison, but he's there and hanging out. And I don't even think he has any lines, but he is in the credits, and he does show up, but he does nothing, and it's great.
and
I'm
then
just
you got
excited
the whole
to see him.
subplot with Dennis Leary as the like the sewer people.
Yes.
And he's like a
Like a
Morlock.
yeah, like yeah. I mean, essentially, it is Morlocks and Eloys, essentially, right?
Yeah,
You got like the toiling people underneath the world, and then up
Yeah.
is like paradise above. So I wouldn't be surprised if the time machine, it is H.G. Wells' time machine.
It
pretty much.
yeah. Yep.
I think we just figured it out, boys.
I think you're right.
We just cracked the code. So yeah, I mean,
The Simon
Demolition.
Phoenix code.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, Demolition Man. There's nothing wrong with that movie. Everything great. Everything you would expect, like our world, like, is completely turned upside down in the future.
And it's so fun. Like they take a lot of the current concepts we have with, like, just culture and, like, oversensitivity, and doing this stuff, and they present it in this way, and they show both angles of it, and they do it in this way that's like this wonderfully envisioned sci-fi concept, and it's in an action movie, and it turns into it, and it's like that's
Yeah.
that's the thing about it that's so funny, because it hits on so many of these different angles, and as much as that is, everybody remembers that movie. You can
Yeah.
always talk to somebody, and they will always talk about, oh yeah, with the 3C show, and it's like it's like the I'll buy that for $1 effect. And
Right,
and
yeah.
it comes, yeah, you have that from this movie, and it's so great.
The sad thing that I connect with Demolition Man was the action figure line. Like I remember being in Toys R Us or KB and being like, I'm not into this.
Yeah.
Am I growing up? Like it was like right around that time
It was
I
a
started
turning point.
Yeah, that was a turning point. It was a turning
Mhm.
point in action figure design where I really think like people got lazy and Demolition Man, never bought a figure. Great movie, but that's
Great.
when things started to change.
Yeah.
They deserved a better line.
Absolutely. But then realistically, does Demolition Man need a toy
Does
line?
like Last Action? Like I remember, like these were up probably like around the same time as Last Action Hero
Yep.
figures as well. And you're getting the T. Well, I'll get to that later on. But the T2 line was awesome.
All right, let's not talk about T2 line.
All right. I knew that you probably shouldn't jump like that, but yeah, those figures were sick.
Yeah.
Demolition dropped.
So yeah, Demolition Man, Rob Schneider, at it again with Sylvester Stallone, like winning combination. I love Rob Schneider, especially in the
Me too.
'90s. Like
Yep.
great stuff.
Imagine that set. Imagine the craft table, like Dennis Leary, Jesse Ventura, like all these dudes hanging out together.
Yeah. I kind of feel like I don't know. I love it. It's such. I'm gonna probably end up rewatching it here soon because it's just so iconic. It's like I mean it doesn't need
It
to
only
be.
happened in the 90s. Could
Yeah,
only
you
happen.
can. Yeah, it could never. Yeah, exactly. It's the epitome, the perfect like time capsule of like a '90s
I think you're
movie.
right, man. You're right. That's a very important
And
time cap.
not only that, at the time, the Taco Bell logo now is based off of the Taco Bell logo from the movie.
Absolutely.
They did such a good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a
They
fact.
changed to the purple motif, yeah.
Yep.
And it's stuck ever since, because I've sat there and questioned it, and I'm like, God, we have had that Taco Bell logo for a long time, and it's a holdover that connected from that. And it's weird, the UK or the European
Yep.
release, it's all Pizza
Okay,
Hut.
yeah, Pizza Hut because they don't. Yeah, that's so weird. I
It
definitely.
was a branding thing.
Yeah, I've never seen the UK cut. I want to see it because it's completely different. Like the whole scene's completely different.
I watched it streaming online from somewhere because I had a Jones to watch this movie, and it was from the UK cut. So as I was watching it, I think I was working on something, and it was just kind of like background noise.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody said Pizza Hut, and it threw me off. I'm like, wait a minute, am I having a heart attack? Like I remember this differently. Am I watching something different? And I rewound it and watched it, and all the logos and everything were totally different. And I was
Yeah.
like,
And they
no
actually
kidding.
talk about it being different. So they had to film this twice. It wasn't like they
It was
fixed
filmed twice. Yeah,
but
it was.
wow.
It was, it was
Just
crazy.
the amount of commercial embedded in stuff like this during the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still to this day embedded.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's we can move on to our number 3s. Lawman, what you got?
I had one, and I want to swap it based on our conversation,
you could.
because
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
going to do this. So it's going to be this is going to be side saddled. My number 3 pick was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which
Ooh.
I still love.
Didn't
I didn't even think about that, man.
I didn't even think about it either.
And the thing is that movie is so great. Like, I mean, I've been saying this about every movie that I've been talking about, but I've had several characters that have been time travelers that have been like, oh, we're just dumb dudes who have created this legacy of a great future by doing something simple. And like, I love George Carlin's bit in the beginning.
Oh
yeah.
Where he's talking about like this future of 2688, where it's like bowling scores are way up, miniature golf scores are way down.
Yeah.
Everything is clean. And just like from that point, the fact that it doesn't take itself seriously. It's got a wonderful causality loop with.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. Ted's dad and his keys.
Yeah.
And how he can't find his keys. And then they go through this whole elaborate thing. By the end of the movie, they have this whole like, we got to remember to do this to make this happen. Oh, the keys are right here.
That's the greatest thing about this movie. As soon as you said Bill and Ted's, I thought about that cycle, like the intention throughout the whole film, that thread. I was very impressed by that. It could have just been a silly movie, with a couple of burner guys, but that part was really cool.
I really, yeah, I do love that movie. I guess I'll still say that's my three. I was gonna swap it with something else, but I'm gonna put a pin in that. I'll say Bill and Ted, just
That's a
because
great
Bill
one.
and Ted's it's a
Damn.
fun movie. It's definitely it's a stoner movie without it being a stoner movie.
Absolutely.
It's got, you know, a lot of fun bits in it. It's just it's funny. It still makes me laugh. And it's a good sci-fi movie.
It is, and I have not seen the new one.
I haven't yet either. I was kind of leery about it. I don't like. Well, you're talking about like, yeah, why watch
There we go.
newer movies? What's the reason? Oh, there you
Yeah.
go. Oh, there it is.
Oh, nice. There you
Yeah.
go.
So, 8-bit zombie. You ever?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is an 8-bit zombie hat. It's got like Bill and Ted like on
Oh
the
my
Nice.
goodness.
and the piece de resistance, Joey. He's even got the right
The
buttons
Siggy
on
Piggy?
it too.
Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Very
cool.
nice.
So I
That
have
is
to
super
switch
cool.
it up.
8-bit
Had
zombies.
to,
Great. That's
yeah.
where I got that slime pit patch from.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have like
Nice.
a ton of 8-bit zombie stuff. It's actually, if you look at my wall, there's a couple of there's the 8-bit zombie, two of the 8-bit zombie action figures up there, secretly hidden.
Thrasher?
Thrashers, two Thrashers,
Oh
yeah.
man, you
That's
got yeah.
cool.
That's
I got
really cool.
the cosmic, and the gold one.
Naturally, that's beautiful. Naturally,
course.
you would have Thrasher. Yeah,
I got two Thrashers.
yeah, that's a great one, man. That was totally off the grid for me.
I know. I
didn't even-
totally. Yeah, I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I can't
Yeah.
believe it's not even on this list. And Bogus Journey, just as good.
Yep,
It's
absolutely.
it's
Oh,
just as good. I like Excellent a little bit more, and I don't know why. I just think that I still like them both. That's the thing. There's no, it's not apples to oranges or anything.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
still
Well-
on the same spectrum, but
Well, I won't talk about the sequel because spoiler alert. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks, Joey. But yeah, the
Oh yeah,
first one.
right. There you go, man.
So
yeah,
the first one, okay, so the first one is definitely, yeah, it's good because you got like the Billy the Kid, Joan of Arc, Beethoven, Attila the Hun, right? Like
Napoleon.
Genghis
Napoleon.
Khan.
Oh, Genghis Khan.
Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew I wasn't. So Genghis Khan.
Al Leong.
Socrates, right? They call him
Socrates.
Yeah,
Socrates.
old Socrates.
So like, it's iconic. Like everybody knows every like famous person in history like that's in it.
Yeah.
There's
It's
so many funny gags that I've caught as an adult watching that movie that just it went by me as a kid. Like I like when Socrates and Sigmund Freud are talking to the girls in the mall.
Oh yeah, with
And,
the
hot
corn
dog?
dog. Yeah,
Yeah, I just
yeah.
it's so good.
And he's like,
it was kind of.
doesn't he want to go?
With my kids a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, whoa, I forgot about that.
Doesn't
Yeah.
he like say his name's Ziggy or something?
Yeah, you could call me Sicky.
Yeah, you could go. And then like, yeah, it's funny too because like I always and San Dimas high school football rules like you
Yeah.
got to
It
yell
has
it
them
like
for rules.
Yep.
yeah
Yep.
everywhere you go you got to yell it, right?
I've quit 2 jobs by writing a goodbye letter, and I include be excellent to each other and party on dudes as a closer.
Well done.
I mean,
Well done.
yeah, Neon Lords like the actual adventure section's called like something about Neon, or I don't even remember now. Damn it.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me look it up. Oh yeah,
It's in there. Check
the,
it out.
the most excellent adventures,
Yes,
if you can see.
Good one, man.
right
There it is.
there it is.
I was
So-
reading that today.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I didn't think about it because like I really had like a hard sci-fi feel. Like I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I said like
Yeah.
this is why I put it so broad was because I feel like we would bring up some stuff that I wouldn't think of. I would
Hmm.
consider Bill and Ted obviously a comedy before sci-fi,
Over
but
sci-fi.
it is really sci-fi obviously because there's time travel
It's
involved.
Time
Mhm.
travel. Yeah. Yeah. Good one, man. Good one.
Joey, your number 3.
T2.
All right, put a pin in it.
Yep.
I mean, you saw that. coming.
I knew that was going to be up there.
Which
for
is
you.
it's fine because we're gonna we got to unpin something that you said earlier, and that's
Yep.
Here it is.
wherever you go, there you are.
There you are.
Yeah, I
Man,
love Buckaroo Banzai.
what a story. Imagine a time where somebody could write a script like that and that was presented and like, yeah, sure, no problem. Here's a couple grand. Go nuts. Like they're just going back and piecing it all together, all the different moving parts. It's just like, oh man, I don't know. It's just so it just gets it hits everything.
I love Peter Weller, obviously. Like
Yeah,
RoboCop.
yeah.
RoboCop is like everything to me, and he's a great actor. I feel like he'd be a really nice guy to hang out with too.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
And
Yep.
like Buckaroo Banzai, you got the Hong Kong Cavaliers,
Yeah.
like Jeff
Perfect
Goldblum.
Tommy.
Yeah, perfect Tommy. Like
Perfect. The names are yes. No, I'm perfect.
John Lithgow is a bad guy, and it's not Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like yeah, and it's got speaking of like 50s sci-fi, like the full name of the movie. Was it like
Well, in the
Buckaroo
connection, though, I
Banzai?
love the idea of the
Across the eighth dimension.
Across the eighth
across
dimension.
the eighth dimension. Yeah. But like how H.G. Wells is, Orson Welles, well, both Orson Welles, like that was real. That was such a cool concept. Like, no, actually, that was real, and it was a cover up, and
Yeah,
this is the result. Because then you have the movie within the movie, which are the two alien factions. That's like, okay, now we're gonna watch this movie, which is a turf war between two groups of aliens. Oh,
yeah.
practical
They're gonna-
effects once again, man. Woo.
They're going to trigger a Soviet retaliatory strike.
Yeah.
They're going to let us do it by doing this.
Yes.
Just the amount of depth and complexity. Seriously, that movie, as far
Ahead
as
of
a
its time.
screenplay, like it's way ahead of its time. It's
Yeah,
so fun.
definitely.
So ahead of its time
as-
that they never made the sequel.
Yeah.
Against the World Crime League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what a great name.
They had somebody who was doing alternate art for sequels that never came out, and that's
Cool.
one of them. If you go online and look up Buckaroo Banzai Against the World Crime League and do an image search of it, it'll pop up with a really, really spectacular illustration of what that movie would have looked like.
Awesome.
And it's super great. I think that's something we're checking out.
I'm pretty sure they did a comic book, didn't they, or were they supposed
They
to?
have done it.
Okay,
They've
they
done,
did do that.
they've done a couple of different comic adaptations. I saw that movie. A lot of my early exposure to watching a lot of these movies, because I didn't rent movies until I was like a little bit older of a kid, but my mom like would record movies. Like I think we'd get like HBO free for a weekend, and then like, my parents would go to town and record stuff on tapes.
That's how we got Bill and Ted. Yeah,
Yeah.
same
and that's
thing.
how I had Buckaroo Banzai. Like all it was written on this Buckaroo Banzai. I'm like, I don't even know what these words mean, but I watched it, and just because of it, I found this movie. And as a kid, I latched onto it. I had like my other friends like that I knew in my neighborhood. I'm like, you've got to watch this movie. It's just crazy. And
It is
I don't
crazy.
think any of us knew what was going on, but I think that's the thing. It's like maybe when I grow up, this will make more sense, and it doesn't. But it doesn't have to. And it's so wonderful. It's such a like. It's like it's coming in on the second part of somebody's story.
Yep.
And just going along with it, but it's like a good story. But it's like, man, I wish I knew what the first part of that was, and you never know.
No.
One of my favorite throwaway lines from that movie is when they're walking through. I think they were trying to find Christopher Lloyd and save the professor, and I think who is it walking? Oh, it's Jeff Goldblum who points at the watermelon that's in the background. It's like, why is there a watermelon there? He's like, I'll tell you later. And then they never go back to it. And I'm like, this is the best movie I've ever seen.
There's just so like, that the world building in that, and just like the factions, and just what it's you're right. It's like you're supposed to understand a whole. It's like, no, you're in on this whole I don't know how to even put it. It's like you're just supposed to know a whole bunch. They assume that you know a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't exist as you go into this movie.
He's the smartest, greatest person that's ever been, and he's got a band of other great, super smart people.
Yeah,
and they're awesome, and that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
As a little kid, I latched on. I'm like, of course,
absolutely. Yeah, it's the good guys.
Yeah, a killer soundtrack too. Killer theme.
Yep.
Yeah, that theme is awesome. Like that end credit scene where they're all walking in like the LA River or whatever.
How can
Yeah.
you not smile? Like, how can you
Yeah.
not? Like, you hear it
Just
and you're just
thinking
like,
about it. Yeah, and they're all
Yep.
walking together. Yeah. And then like a throwaway section. You ever see Ready Player One?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like he wears the to like their first Artemis's date there.
Oh
He's
yeah, yeah,
Buckaroo
Yeah.
yeah,
Banzai.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Totally. That doesn't get enough love or attention.
Ready Player
People
One.
no.
screaming.
Joey, you ever read the book?
Nope, I haven't.
You should.
I do after watching the film and then kind of reading up on it a little bit. I do want to pick that up.
It's actually so like
It's worth a read.
oh yeah, it's more the book has more D&D to it than the movie does.
Okay.
So like it's definitely worth it if you're like a there's more role playing elements to it.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I
It's on my summer reading list.
I have the sequel. I have the sequel Ready Player 2, but I have yet to read it unfortunately. I
Yep.
got it for Christmas like 2 years ago and I haven't even cracked it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's on my summer reading list for sure, Bri.
It's
I
definitely
want to
it's
get deep
it's
to that
it's
one.
a great book. The movie's good too though. I really like the movie, especially
I
The
like the
Shining,
movie.
especially
Yeah.
The Shining part. Like they
So
got it down. The
so
music.
amazing.
The
Yep.
second like they see the marquee and it plays that like the theme, the Shining theme, and
Yeah.
then like
Yeah.
yeah, because I hate Stephen King, but I love The Shining because Stephen King
Yeah.
hates it. I think I probably talked about that before.
Yeah.
You hate Stephen King like
I- Yeah,
as a writer?
yeah.
Oh my god. It's all right. It's all right. We got to talk. We got to talk. sometime.
I just never got like I've tried reading like a ton of books and it's just a slow
Yeah.
burn.
It
I'm
didn't
not
click
like
with you.
Mhm.
yeah, it just never clicked.
Yeah.
Even like movie wise, like Shining's like the only Stephen King thing I like, and the Maximum Overdrive trailer. That's like it.
Yeah.
Stand
That's
by
it.
Me.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I mean,
Stand by Me.
yeah, it's all right. I don't. That's I don't know. I don't consider that much Stephen King. Like I mean, I know it is, especially like because we talked about Hearts in Atlantis. I think 2 weeks
Yeah, yeah.
ago.
Oh,
too.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know my deal with Stephen King.
Yeah,
After a
I know.
certain-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
oh man, Ready Player One. we talk about The Shining, but this
I'm gonna
is how.
grab I'm about to die. I'm gonna grab a charger. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're good. Yeah,
So-
you're totally good.
Yeah, Buckaroo was my number 3.
Yeah. No, that movie, Daylina, that's one of the first movies when we started dating. I was like, do you want to watch a movie? And that was like my first movie of like, we have to watch this. And fortunately they were like, this is amazing. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's definitely one of those ones that like you either love it or you hate it.
It's a very polarizing movie. A lot of
Yeah.
people feel like somebody's played a joke on them or something. Like, so it doesn't have any kind of structural similarity to any movie or any story that's ever been told. As people walk in on the set, you're like, who's this? I don't know. Are they here again? No.
Yeah.
they're just not. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, the
And yeah.
like I'll never make my wife watch it. She'll never be interested in it. The only thing I ever cuz like I watch the Pretty Penny part all the time. Like that's amazing to me and
Yeah.
I make her watch that scene, but that's as far as we ever go
Mhm.
with Buckaroo Banzai outside of watching
Yeah.
it by myself.
Yeah.
And then it's another one of those iconic rental covers too.
Yeah.
Like I never rented it, but like I distinctly can see that cover like on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's a great painting. But
Yeah.
while Joey's gone, we could still get to
Yeah.
your number
Yeah.
2. Let's
I'm
okay.
He's coming. I hear him.
All right, Joe, what you got for number 2?
But number 2, this is a weird one. And the only reason why I'm picking it is because it's definitely style over substance. It is 1981's Sean Connery sci-fi classic Outland. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
No, I thought you were gonna say
I-
Zardoz.
I thought Zardoz was coming up too.
Zardoz would have been my joke pick. Zardoz is fine. But Outland is basically High Noon in Space.
Okay,
And
Okay.
yeah.
it is
So the cover I've seen, and like
Yeah.
I literally just it's like the he's a federal marshal stationed in a mining colony on Jupiter.
Yeah.
Drug smuggling conspiracy. Yeah.
a
Interesting
very,
stuff.
very, very Lawman-y thing. But the thing is that this movie, as far as its concepts, the guy that did Time Cop actually worked on this movie, I believe. Not that that's, I mean, it's cool, but the set design and the thought, like, it looks like Alien, and it's
Yeah,
not. It's like
yeah,
Alien's secret little cousin.
yeah. It's got that.
Uh,
Yeah,
the
that.
industrial science fiction is how I've heard it referred to, and it's a very just it's bearded men in space, and there's a problem. Like the essential idea of it is that this marshal comes into town, to this mining town, and people are going crazy. They're pulling their helmets off of their space helmets off while they're out in space, and their heads are exploding, or they're going the psychotic. And it turns out, they're being given some kind of drug that's making them do this. And it's a weird, interesting movie. But it does play very much like a Western. It's not very remarkable. This is again another WTOG 44. It's Saturday and it's 2 p.m. We're going to put this movie on, and that's how I saw it. And when I watched it, I'm like, God, this movie looks great. Just the overall style and appeal to it. It's like it really, really resonated with me, and that's a movie that I like. Just very, very gritty. It's got some pretty cool effects. You got 2 exploding heads. Can't beat that. Yeah, not much more to say about that. That's my number 2, because I was playing it weird, and I'm like, I'm gonna pick something off the wall.
Yeah,
That's a
sure.
good-
I didn't put Total Recall on this list, and I should have, and it kills me that I didn't. That was another one that should be on here. That's another honorable mention that I forgot to do.
Yeah,
but
definitely. I'm surprised that
we're talking about Starship Troopers and Verhoeven, and just the buckets of blood and fun that Total Recall is. That should have been on there. So, but instead I didn't. I wrote Outland from 1981.
Nothing wrong with that.
You're on theme, though. You're
Joey.
on theme.
What's your number 2?
All right, my number 2, saw it for the first time. You're not going to believe this. Saw it for the first time yesterday of my whole life. Blade Runner.
Really?
And, yep. Never saw it before. My wife loves it. But after Philip K. Dick it's not an author I have read, and I'm ashamed to say that.
Nothing wrong with that.
so
I've read like
really
3
wanted-
books in my life.
So-
You're good, Joey.
So that and you saying that, Philip K. Dick, and so all right, I'll watch Blade Runner. Now's the time, and that's a movie I'm going to have to watch at least 3 more times over the next couple of months. Like, there's just so much that I want to go back and explore again.
A lot.
Yeah, just like today, I'm like, wait, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. I got to go back and look for more clues. It's a real visual. Of course, it's a visual experience, but like, just as a viewer, you really have to be actively watching this and piecing pieces together and trying to get all the little nuances throughout it. But I thought it was a real awesome picture of what the future probably will look like very soon. It's not too far-fetched, but it looks like that in the future there's no such thing as a light bulb, because the only bad part is, I can only imagine watching this on VHS on a lousy TV when you're a kid, just because there's just so many dark parts that you really have to strain yourself to watch, which adds to it. Like, it's like watching Blade Runner is an experience. It's not just a narrative, it's an experience. So yeah, love it. I got to watch it again.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies. It's my favorite pay attention to it and favorite go to sleep movie, because of the soundtrack. It will put you to sleep. It's a lulling, quiet, but captivating experience. It means concept art and stuff with that it's incredible.
Joey,
Big fan.
you need to go and watch gameplay video of a game called Snatcher.
Yep.
Snatch.
Yeah.
Do I have it? Oh, I packed it up. I have it.
It's a Sega CD Hideo Kojima ridiculous game that, like, I'm not even going to spoil it for you. Just look it up.
Oh man, I'm looking at pictures right now. This is incredible.
I I have a history with Snatcher.
Hell yeah.
I have
Wow.
I received my Sega CD very late in its lifespan when the PlayStation was coming out, the first one. I had
Yeah.
asked for it for Christmas, and my parents got me a Sega CD. So I was devastated because I'm like, they don't make games for this anymore. Like, what am I gonna do? But the thing is I remember reading about Snatcher in game magazines and stuff, and that's the thing. Like, it's Blade Runner meets Terminator, and it's done with just this amazing style, and it's such a well-crafted visual novel kind of game. And I lucked out because our local KB that we had to drive 45 minutes to had some Sega CD stuff, and it was all marked down and closed out, and I bought it for $20,
Oh,
and I still have it.
oh.
I still have
You
it.
know how much Snatcher? Look it up on eBay. Like,
Up and up and up.
Really?
Yep.
oh yeah.
Was it like a Japan only kind of like an import kind of thing? Well, actually, you got it in KB, so obviously
Yeah,
not. But
it was harder to
system.
find, and
Yeah.
the demand wasn't there, and it became this very scarce thing because I was at a video game show in Tampa where they were selling stuff, and I saw somebody had it sitting out on their table, so I'm like, oh, that's cool, I have that. How much is your Snatcher for 60? He's like, oh, I'm letting it go for 1,600, and I'm like, 1,600
Whoa.
Earth dollars?
Yeah.
Like I'm not paying
Holy
$1,600 to you for one video game. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but it's amazing.
It's one of the most expensive video games of all time.
It is.
I mean, it's not like
Wow.
what young Samson is like the
Yeah,
the-
yeah, right,
Little
yeah.
Samson? Yeah,
or
that's,
little Samson or whatever. Yeah. So
forget
Joey,
about it. Yeah.
you want to hear like the greatest Christmas Sega CD story ever?
Yeah.
So I got a Sega CD for Christmas, right? So like we had a thing. My parents said, you got X amount of dollars, like we'll get you what you want, and then wrap it up, put it. This is like post Santa Claus, obviously. So like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I was in middle school, 8th grade. I want to say the story was. I got a Sega CD, the side loader one.
Yeah.
So I knew I got it. So like my mom was a teacher, so like I would come home from school before her, and my dad, worked like furniture sales and stuff, so he was gone. I would crack open that Sega CD every day after school before Christmas, out of like surgically unwrap it, pull it out of the
Oh,
box
no.
Before
play-
Christmas.
before Christmas, play it, right?
Wow.
I know this is another one my mom
Oh
shouldn't have
my
watched because
Wow.
it was
You're
the
a bad boy.
it was the taxi driver VHS last week, and now it's this story. This is
Oh, no.
this is the worst story ever, right? So I would play it in my room, hook it all up, play. I got Mortal Kombat Sega CD. I had a bunch of other games, but that's the one. I love Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
One day, taking it back before my mom got home, I tripped and dropped it and broke it.
Oh no.
So knowing that going into Christmas, I had to open up a broken Sega CD, try to fire it up with my parents watching, knowing it was broken. And then like, because my grandparents had a Genesis too. That my dad's like, oh, we'll take it over to Grandpa's house and see if it works on his. Knowing full well that it doesn't, I had to get in the car, take that ride,
Oh, my.
knowing that it was broken, that I broke it, and then like obviously like the day after Christmas we went and got a replacement. But like,
Did
yeah,
you ever tell him?
I no, never told him.
Well,
Little, so hopefully she doesn't watch this episode. I know sometimes she watches some of my content, but like I'm gonna just sneak this one under too. But
That's
yeah,
a great story, man.
Yeah, I do- I-
Wow, that's
that's
awesome.
why I had to go off
Oh,
the tangent.
no.
In the back of the car as like the lights are going by, just like
Yeah,
oh
yep. But yeah, that's like yeah. So Sega CD holds a special place in my heart because full motion video games are the future still to this day. I'm gonna live on that. Like they're awful and I love them. Like Night Trap. Night Trap was like the most taboo thing ever.
oh yes,
It's
yes,
like-
Night Trap. Oh my
You-
god, dude, you just unlocked one of those memories.
So
It just
Night,
pops in.
you could play
That
Night
was
Trap.
the end of the world. That was they
Yeah.
were gonna smash every video game system. Night Trap was the end of the American child.
Yep, I
Yeah.
had to have it. But you could play it
Oh.
on the Switch. The Switch you could buy
Yeah.
Night Trap.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh
Yep,
my
and
Yes, sir.
it comes with like a documentary and everything.
Dude, that I got goosebumps right now, man. That was an unlocked thing. Night
That's
Trap.
awesome.
Thank you. What a gift. Oh
And
man.
actually, Night Trap is it plays into. So you know how we got the Thirsty for More solo
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
The sequel, I don't remember the name of what I called it, but it's Night Traps or something like that. It's gonna have to do with the game,
Nice.
like a Neon
That's
Lords
fun.
Night Traps thing, because it's so like ingrained in my life.
That's
Like
super fun.
Mortal
That is
Kombat Night Traps,
amazing.
like
Amazing. Mortal Kombat. Absolutely. The first
another.
time,
Oh yeah,
you discover Reptile.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
And I love everything about it. The Sega CD port of that game was phenomenal.
It's my favorite port of Final Fight because of the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, yeah, because it
From
had
yep.
CD quality audio.
yeah, it was so great.
To go on a
Yeah.
crazy tangent. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Oh no, I was just. I better not because I could talk about Sega CD all. It's something that I've come to appreciate more. I did not appreciate it as much, and I felt like I was a bratty kid because I was really mad that I got it, and then I had found a second life with it with all these other games, and I lucked out. My cousin had a Sega CD and had stopped playing it and kind of like was just like, whatever. I'm an adult now, so I don't need all these games. And he ended up giving me a whole bunch of the working designs role playing games for it, and like there were some of the best game experiences I've ever had. So I really love my Sega CD for sure. But
Hell yeah.
Didn't it come with a music sampler, like an MTV music sampler?
yeah,
And
they
I
had like
remember
a
there was a Mr. Big video, and it was
Oh,
like,
my-
oh my God, you're watching a music video on your Sega. Like that was like,
it's this big.
yeah. That was big tech back then.
I never
Yeah.
got that. The only thing mine came with was Sewer Shark.
I had a
Oh,
Sewer Shark when it
nice.
came.
Sewer Shark. I remember the commercial. Yeah.
Turn and burn, dog meat.
Yeah. What do you think this is a game? I mean, that's why I named like our Street Shark class Sewer Shark because of that game.
yeah. Man,
It's
that's
like
great.
I'm
Sega-
playing a video game that just yells at me, tells me I'm not good enough.
hell yeah.
my
It's the
friend who had a
90s.
Sega CD had like I'll always equate Sega CD with new car smell because he loved detailing his parents' cars, and he always had a little jar of a little spray bottle of new car smell. So we would go over and play Sega CD, and it would always be spraying it. And he was the kid on the street that had pole position and a full size pinball machine on the other side of the couch as well too. That
Wow.
was the hot spot.
Did you watch 8-Bit Christmas?
Yeah, I did.
Oh no, I didn't finish it.
Oh,
We started it.
I definitely could see that as your childhood.
I I gotta get back into that. My kids put on. I started it, and they came in and had to watch like another holiday movie. And I didn't get to see the whole thing. I only got through like the first 10 minutes, but I'll go back to that.
Yeah, it is definitely a good one. All right, so my number 2 was Joe's regret, Total Recall.
Hey.
Yeah, there, it made it. I knew it was gonna make
Oh,
it.
thank
Yeah.
God we could talk about
I
it.
knew it was gonna be
Yeah.
on yours.
Paul Verhoeven, obviously, it's like the genius madman of the future practical effect movies. Total Recall, Quado, like one of the greatest like makeups ever. So good
Yep.
that like I don't know if you can see my Quado tattoo.
Oh no way!
Oh, man, I
Yeah,
didn't know
like-
you had a quad. Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's great.
like I love this movie so much that I got a tattoo of it.
Yeah.
That is great, man.
Yeah, like Arnold at his well, I wouldn't say
That's
it's my
peak
number.
Arnold.
I
Oh,
think
peak-
so.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
Well, all right.
Well, T2, but
Yeah.
Total Recall.
No,
Right
yeah. I
around.
mean, like it's close, but yeah, T2's his peak, but we'll get to that. So,
Yeah.
like, obviously, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
But Total Recall, yeah, another Philip K. Dick, in the movie, book turned into movie.
You
Like,
got a Quado tattoo, man. That is awesome. High five on that.
yeah, and like
Much respect.
the Mars mutants.
Yeah.
It's like,
If I had thought about it, if there was a movie prop that I could own of any prop, I would want Cohagen's exploding eyeballs out of his head. That mask or that mini or whatever it was. That's what I would want. Is when he was like, his eyes were popping out and he was like at his peak decompression, that's what I would want. I was like, that is just so great.
Yeah, it's that. This is like the peak cassette futurism that we always talk about. Is
Yeah.
Total Recall.
Yeah.
Like it's so futuristic that they're still using like CRTs and like VHS tapes and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Love that, man. That's so,
So
cool.
fun.
yeah, then it's got that futuristic spy. Like, was he a spy? Is he a spy? Is it all just a simulation? Like,
Yep.
Mhm.
It
it's
leaves you thinking. I
Yeah.
love those
Yeah.
guys. Well, Philip K. Dick. There you go. That's going to be on the
Mhm.
summer reading list.
so here we go to the number ones.
My number one is very weird.
That's okay.
Do it.
Okay. So I talked about Robot Jocks, Stuart Gordon, earlier, and I'm
Yep.
going to do it again because this movie couldn't be more peak Lawman. Is Space Truckers.
Yeah,
Ooh,
Space
baby.
Truckers.
Yep.
Yep.
Phenomenal. I love that movie more than I should, and it's weird for it to be number one on a sci-fi list. But the thing is, it's just the overall look and feel of it. Just like it's bright, it's neon, it's crazy, it's a weird concept, and it's a ton of fun. And it's a movie that I can go back and watch anytime. It, you know, I feel like it's a movie that did well with its budget. It I don't know. Did I lose you? Did we
No.
lock?
No,
Oh, okay, everybody was still.
looking
Well,
at the post.
Everybody was
Yeah.
still, and I was like, "Oh,
No,
hold on,
no, no. I was just I'm on the
got a hard time.
IMDb. Yeah, like I'm
Yeah.
just
I'm
looking.
looking at the posters.
Yep.
Once again,
Dennis Hopper.
another
Yeah,
perfect hero's name, John Canyon.
yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Charles Dance is in it, and he's a leader of a space. He's a space pirate, and he dresses like, I mean, he's got like kind of like an M. Bison kind of get up, and then he's got his own little gimmick that I'm not gonna ruin because it's one of the funniest gags in the movie. Just it's a ton of fun, and it's on Amazon, and you should definitely watch it if you haven't seen it. And that's all I have to say about it. It's so good.
Debbie Mazar, right? Or how you say her last name?
Yeah,
Man, one of my big crushes from the late 90s.
smoking hot in that movie too.
Yeah. That's a good call.
So, very, very, very fun movie. I just love it because that's, again, the concept of absurdity made sci-fi, tells a decent story, has some pretty decent special effects and good setups, and I just have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Joey, number one.
Me?
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, Ghostbusters. Interesting. Spicy. Very spicy meatball.
That's what I'm here for. But no, it's funny. Like, so as a kid growing, of course, it was awesome. I had the T-shirt, had all the toys and the video games. Even had the other one, the Filmation's Ghostbusters. But watching it again, it just hit me. And this was not too long ago. It's just like 2 months ago. It hit me on such another level. Like the greatness of that. That's just I don't know. There was nothing before it like it. And there's been nothing after it that's like it either. That's just a classic, man. Just, I don't know. You know those guys. Those guys are embedded. You know, if you know, you know. That's another one I can't even get into that much, but it's sci-fi. You got the supernatural, but the tech bait, like that's when I watched it again.
What a script.
Yeah, what a script. That's a great way to put it. I just saw I watched the new one with my kids, which was cool. I really liked it. I thought it was a really fun movie. I thought it was cool. But then I won't spoil it for anybody, but when you see the end and you're like, you get choked up and you're like, oh my guys. And at that point, I'm like, I never really took a minute to stop and think what a huge part of my childhood these guys were until I saw it in that light. Because I always took it for granted. You grew up in the 80s. You loved the Ghostbusters. You had the bubble gum, the T-shirts, everything. You watched the movie a million times. And you watched the show every day after school. But that last scene of the movie, I'm like, those were my dudes. Though I know, like, you know their characters. You know how you looked at them. But I always took them for granted. And so Ghostbusters, my number one.
Great choice.
Thanks.
Sci-fi. You go sci-fi on Ghostbusters, huh?
Well, that's the thing, because I went back and I thought about all the tech in it. like the explanation of the supernatural through a scientific
Oh
lens.
no, absolutely,
Yeah.
100% right.
The containment. Yeah, I love the idea of the containment unit. That was such a. I always wanted to just the tech in that. I loved having my proton pack. That was one of my grails as a kid. That proton pack.
Oh
and
yeah, with the foam,
yeah,
like
The twirly foam,
yeah,
yeah.
the twirly, yeah, very iconic. And then like yeah, even the trap you could roll out and like
yeah.
air
The
pressure you
trap,
could.
I love it.
Yeah, those were well designed toys.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
wanted that
Yeah.
proton pack so bad. That was one of those big box items that I was lucky that I got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ghostbusters, that's my number one when you really boil it down at this point in my life, when I recognize the impact it had on me.
My number one.
Solid movie.
We're getting deep here, dudes.
My
I
number
gotta
one.
hear.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Like
Come with
Terminator
me.
2. Yeah,
Yeah.
come with me if you want to live.
Yep. Yep.
Like so, it's like I RoboCop. You know, I actually have two number ones, but like I'll just leave it at Terminator 2 because my other number one I'll use on another list. But
Yeah.
like it's pretty much defined, like it was like the first rated R movie I like
Yeah,
definitely
me too.
remember seeing. Like it
Yep.
defined like my life for so long that like, oh man, and it's like the greatest sequel ever made.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like it's just the perfect sequel. It's the perfect blockbuster. It's just from it's perfect pacing. Everything about it is just phenomenal. I don't know. It's hard to talk about it because
It
like
is.
but it's just like so good. And then like just the whole concept of the Terminator is just so amazing, especially the fact that the time travel only works one way. Like you can't go back.
Yeah.
That's it. You can go or you can go backwards in time, but you can't go back forwards. Like you're stuck back there. Like that's a wrap.
Seeing the T-1000 for the first time, like all
Well,
the liquid metal effects.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like that was, and then even like on a technical aspect, that was like the first time like CGI, like not the first time CGI has been in a movie, but like the first time CGI is actually like good.
To that
Master.
level.
It
Yeah.
was masterful.
Do you know what
at
the
that.
first CG, first effect of a CGI in a movie was?
No.
I think I know.
Go ahead, Joe.
It was in Star Trek 2.
Is it? Are you sure?
Could be wrong. Because I'm thinking, oh no, I'm thinking of the first digital render of Planetoid is when they're showing off the Genesis project in Star Trek 2.
The first CGI use was the owl in the labyrinth.
You're right.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So, little food for thought. Anyway,
Okay.
but so
Yes.
Terminator, and then think about it too. So like the main villain of the first one becomes the hero in the second one.
Yeah, that the whole because I watched T2 before I saw the first
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah, same. Of
I
course.
think that was a lot of people's experiences.
our
so,
our age for sure.
yeah.
Because I mean, like
So
there's that huge, not huge, but there's that gap of time between, Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and Terminator 2 was massively successful compared to like the first one. I mean, compared to a lot of movies at the time too.
Totally different tone. But
Oh,
I think you
absolutely.
and I talked about this before too, or we did during a game. But like the flash ahead of the war.
I mean,
with
yeah,
the
like
piles of
Yeah.
skull,
yeah,
that was, man, I'll never forget that scene. That was such a cool tone in way they did that.
All I wanted was more of that. And then when they started doing that with the follow-ups, which I'm not even going to get into,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
like, boy, it's really missing something. It's really
Yeah.
missing what this was. There was a mystique and a terror,
Yes,
just in everything. Even the like, just so many iconic scenes from the start. Seeing the flame with the Terminator, the skull coming out at you at the beginning, and just that slow build up to the whole setup to the movie. That's perfect. I realized I didn't mention Alien or Aliens on this, which easily could have made this list. I was trying to go for something that wasn't just going to immediately cite those because we were talking perfect sequel. Perfect sequel in the fact that it's the same movie, except like it's just done with a different, angle rather than it being a thriller,
well,
turning
yeah,
it into an action movie.
yeah,
but Aliens was my quote unquote. That was my first rated R movie, um, and I was not allowed to watch it, and I snuck watching it, and it made me just all the better.
Yeah.
I think. But as far as Cameron movies, T2 is that's a movie that was weird because I watched it with my family and we were just like all blown away by it. Like, and it was just like the fact that it was that good. And then when I watched the first Terminator, it was like it's still good, but it was just different.
Yeah.
Different world.
just-
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Schwarzenegger at his prime.
Yeah, this
That's
is
what I
prime.
say.
This is prime Schwarzenegger.
that's prime.
Like,
That is
yeah.
prime.
Total
The
Recall,
shot-
yeah, like, but like this
Yeah.
is it. This is
The
everything.
shotgun. That shotgun was so awesome.
Yeah.
I
He
love
broke
that
his hand
shotgun.
doing that.
Really?
He broke his hand when he was doing the flashiness with it. Or he almost broke his hand. That was the thing because they were telling him to do it, but he did something with it. I remember that was something that was talked about on. I think I was watching some commentary reel or
Yeah.
something about it. But yeah, that iconic, that flip, just
Yeah.
everybody saw it and it's like, oh, it's so
And
cool.
You could
And
be
the-
mine. Oh man, that single I probably wore out. Guns
Yeah.
N' Roses. You
Mhm.
could be mine, which was
You could be
awesome.
mine.
because you
Yeah.
got to watch the video on MTV that had so much of the movie in it, like perfectly choreographed with the music. That was really cool.
Toy
I
line.
like that Bobby Budnick was Edward
Yeah.
Furlong's friend.
Yeah,
And I was
salute
just
your
excited
shorts.
that he was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your foster
Budnick.
parents are
Two
dicks,
dicks,
huh?
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Hell yeah. Toy line,
great-
Joey. Terminator 2
Toy
toy
line.
line.
Yeah, so one of my favorite figures from that toy line was the one where like there was like a lever on Schwarzenegger's arm, and you'd pull it up, and the metal pole. There was like one metal like middle finger would come up out of it. Then he had the blast off one that would reveal the whole thing, and then there was
Yeah.
I never had it, but I always wanted it. The play set where you
Bi-
could put
The
fake
bioflesh regenerator.
Yeah. You
Oh,
know, it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I named that's in Neon Lords. That's why that's what they're called. They're named
Got
after.
you. All right, nice man.
That's
I
great.
had it. I had the bioflesh regenerator. That is like so it's a double-edged sword of a playset. So
Yeah.
like it's awesome. Like the flesh, it was so creepily like cold and like
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
feeling. But like the skeleton, the exoskeleton, like it didn't move. It was just
It
like
didn't- right,
rigid.
right. It was
So like
stationary.
yeah, so like you didn't get like the articulation that you normally would in an action figure, but you got the awesome playset of like just
Got the
watching
flesh.
the flesh like build up on it. Yeah.
Play
Great.
sets were great then. Right around that time too, I think, like at KB, like the 3 for 5. You know, like you'd get Terminator and the Swamp Thing line.
Oh, Swamp Thing. Yeah, that's another one that I had. I had the one like that you could pull the arm out and then
Yeah,
squeeze
that's-
his legs and
That,
then
that's my favorite one. That I think one of those, like one of the versions, was supposed to be part of the unreleased Superpowers line. That the Swamp Thing was going to be. Remember Superpowers where you squeeze the legs and the arms move?
Mhm.
That iconic line from Kenner, that was Swamp Thing was supposed to be part of that, but they had a play set where it looked like a barrel or like an iron lung with green liquid in the thing, and you would put like a figure in it on a table. You turn the liquid, you see the liquid drip like bright green, perfect toxic, and like there would be a grasshopper when you opened it back up,
Yeah.
like it would transform. Remember that? That was really cool.
That was
Yeah,
Swamp,
but that was it.
Swamp Thing.
Great. Swamp Thing, yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
mutant chamber or something.
Have you seen
But
the
yeah.
Swamp? Have you seen the Swamp Thing toy they got out now?
Yeah, I just saw it at Target the other day, man. It's unbelievable.
I almost bought it and then it was like
Me
it's like
too.
it's like hella expensive.
Yeah. That's
And-
out of my.
I'm more of a Man Thing fan myself, but
I understand.
so-
But yep, T2. That was cool. That was definitely the first rated R movie I saw in a theater that I was allowed to. That I didn't sneak into.
yeah.
But that was a great one, man. That was probably a summer blockbuster. I'm thinking.
Oh,
Like that
absolutely.
was a summer movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. That
That
movie,
movie was everywhere.
yeah, it was yeah. The arcade game was great.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Speaking of like
It is.
I want RoboCop versus Terminator. Did you ever play that one?
Yeah.
No, I didn't play that.
Oh,
one.
Genesis one is
Yeah,
amazing.
obviously the Genesis one like blows the Super Nintendo one out of the water. I mean, like that was a renter game too, and then like you like RoboCop like just decimating like punks and like street punks everywhere, right? So there's guys in windows like blasting at RoboCop. You shoot them, and then blood splatters onto the curtains.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Yeah, it's the
you
best.
you shoot a guy and he's just like he's pink mist. Like the gore in this game is unbelievable for like a for a Genesis game. Like it was
It
shocking.
shocked me when I
Yeah,
played it as a kid.
me
It's like,
too.
oh my god.
Yeah, me too. And then when you shoot somebody, like you know how some games like it just feels like you're punching a ghost. There's like no
Yeah.
connection. Like shooting the guns, like it has a nice feel to it. It's weird how like you like
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
definitely
get you.
yeah, it definitely RoboCop versus Terminator is a good game. Highly recommend.
I just
It
looked
came
it
in a
up.
cool
and-
box.
Oh yeah,
Correct. That was
the
the same
art
time.
the
Mhm.
art is great on it because it's just like
Mhm.
that grid, the 3-dimensional kind of grid, just RoboCop versus Terminator, based
The
off the
Super
Dark Horse
Nintendo one,
comic.
it was 3D cut. Like it was actually like jutting out. Like the cartridge itself was like a hard shell plastic, and it was like that. Like the Genesis one, I don't know if the Genesis one did it, but I remember the Super Nintendo one. Like when we rented it at my local Blockbuster. No, it wasn't Blockbuster. It was my other place that I had because we got to see the actual boxes, and it has like an actual hard plastic. It's really super cool.
Oh
No,
yeah, I've
that
never seen that. The
that game's
Genesis one
awesome.
didn't. The Genesis one was
Yeah,
just
the Genesis one was just the black, yeah, but the regular cart, like I will say hands down, the Genesis does have the better cases though for games. Like
Yeah.
I still love the hard cases
Yeah,
for
yeah.
stuff. Um, you know, compared to the Nintendo ones, it's like I mean I like the cardboard, but man, those plastic shells are so great.
yeah.
That was
So-
the same time that Robin Hood came out. I remember how awesome that time was.
Robin
Yeah.
Hood, Prince of Thieves. You're talking about
Thieves,
with
yeah,
That was,
Kevin
Christian
Costner.
Slater.
yeah.
So do you ever have a department store Hills?
No, we didn't have a Hills.
But you're aware of it though, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I remember as a kid, like the toys department at Hills, these girls running over to the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves action figures to find the Christian Slater ones.
Will Scarlet. That's what his name was. Will Scarlet.
Yeah,
Those figures were awesome.
Yeah,
They were,
the play set was pretty cool.
It was the Ewok Village.
Yeah,
They put
yeah.
leaves on the Ewok Village, and
Yeah.
all those figures. So Friar Tuck, that's
my
a
buddy
Gamorrean
kept buying
guard.
the Friar Tuck one. Yeah,
That's a Gamorrean guard. And then,
Mhm.
like, if you lift up his, and I did, of course, if you lift up his robe to see what's underneath, it's just the different painted Gamorrean guard. And then a lot of those figures are reused from Superpowers again too. But you'd flick the arrow and it would shoot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of that movie, even though what's his name? Hans Gruber there is the
Alan
is-
Rickman.
Yeah,
Alan-
Alan
yeah,
Rickman's
yeah,
sheriff of Nottingham. Right?
I liked it when it came out. That was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. I went on a tear of it the other day on social media, and people were ready to burn my house down because they're like, that movie is the best movie I've ever seen, and I don't want your sass mouth opinion. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine.
Everybody knows that the Disney Robin Hood's the greater Robin Hood anyway.
It is the best version of Robin
cartoon?
Hood.
Yeah, yeah,
With the fox, yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. I don't honestly like Kevin Costner all that much. I feel like what
No, I'm not surprised Waterworld did not make it on here.
Yeah.
I hate Waterworld.
Me
I
too.
can't
Not even in a
stand it.
funny way.
Like,
it's just,
I even like I hate that movie so much that when they still do the Waterworld stunt spectacular at Universal Studios. Like somebody asked me, like one of the employees like came up to me, asked me if I wanted to go to it, and I pretty much spat in their face like I refuse to do anything Waterworld related. Like
oh man,
that
it's
movie
bad.
ruined my life.
That was a bad one.
Yeah, and then and Kevin Costner had the gall to go on and do another post-apocalyptic movie, The Postman, after
Postman.
Waterworld.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He didn't learn. He was out for that money.
yeah,
Mm.
out for the dough. So yeah, I mean, that's our list. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
A nice long one, about 2.5 hours. I'd say
Oh
that's
my goodness.
not really like our. Well, I mean, with all the hiccups though, but yeah, 2.5, 240 going on right now for this third iteration. But Joe, thanks for coming on.
Guys, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah,
It's been great hanging out with you. I look forward to picking up the hardcover.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Oh, no problem. Tell the people where they can find you and where they can get your book.
Yeah, best place to get me if you go to criticalfailuregames.com. There's information about where you can pick it up right now. I've got the digitals available, and the hardcover is going to be available commercially very, very, very soon. So bookmark that page, check it out. You can also look up Lawman on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. They'll both pop up there. And yeah, check it out. You'll be glad you did.
You got anything coming up? Any other books coming out?
I am working on so many things all at once right now. I've been working on I'm cramming together a board game concept that I have now got to prototype stage, and it's actually based on the idea of buying and selling and trading video games. Like it's just a card, it's like a board game component to trading and buying like classic games that you want, and trying to maintain a collection and trade with your friends and coworker, or like your co-players and stuff like that. And that's something that I'm messing with. I've got 4 different Lawman books in the works, as far as a gun guide, 2 story guides, a cheat code book, and a couple other things for that, and many, many more secret projects that I can't talk about yet, but I am always working on something.
Awesome.
You
Very
have to
cool.
be. That's awesome, man. A board game.
Yeah.
Joey, tell the people where they can find you.
So now, so you've ushered me into the Facebook world once again. So I'm on Facebook, Joey Royale, and we have a cool
Welcome
thing
back.
going. Thanks. Yeah, it's been a long time, but Neon Lord convinced me into doing and along with my wife, a Fairhaven WHPA page, community page, which is some awesome stuff. People are contributing to that. So you can find me on there, and then on Instagram, get_haunted_industries, where I have one of those link lists where you can find all the stuff. A lot of my stuff's on Goodman Games and WHPA. You can get to me at Lord, BLUDD @gmail.com for a copy of the book and to get on the list of the Fairhaven 99 for your monthly mailings.
Very cool. So yeah, so a couple things real quick before we go. This is the last episode that's going to be shown on Facebook. The next one we're going to be on Twitch, and we're going to be Twitch official. Will probably be something before that. We'll probably play like a game or something.
Yeah,
on
let's roll
Twitch.
some dice.
Yeah, we got to roll some dice. It's been too long. Even if we play, Weird Heroes on the Neon Lord Twitch channel, I'm all for that.
Cool.
We'll do that. We'll figure something out. Everybody knows who I am, so I'm not gonna really get into it. You can go on Exalted Funeral, buy the book there because I want them to sell out. I really have
Yeah.
like literally 8 copies of the regular cover left. Like I have nothing.
That's awesome.
Wow,
So-
that's great, man.
That's
Yeah.
super great.
So, but
Well
we
done.
we're gonna kickstart a second printing in August.
All right. All
Very
right.
nice.
So it's gonna have a new cover, dusk
Mm.
jacket cover that's different than
Oh,
the cover
wow.
on the inside.
Legit.
So it's gonna be like a quality of life upgrade. Some of the like wording I want to change on some stuff, and then like some typos and stuff that we missed, and then all new adventures. So like the 3 adventures in it are getting nixed, and 3 new ones going in.
Awesome.
And to go with the secret class, there's gonna be a secret adventure added
Ooh,
to the mix.
very nice.
So easier to find than
Yeah.
the secret class, but I know like I've talked about it on a couple of interviews and stuff. But yeah, this is official. August. Moose.
Great.
I talked to Moose. I know Black Rainbow's going to get involved, and they're going to do some like add-on goodies for us, like
Very
some
nice.
posters and some different stuff too. So be
Yeah,
on
I need
lookout
some
for
more
that.
Neon Lord swag. I need to get
Yeah.
a lot more. Yeah.
So yeah, so the cover, it's going to be a good one. So like I'll talk about the cover a little bit here. So it's going to be like a giant battle scene, and then on the dusk jacket, and then the cover underneath it is going to be more of a close-up of like things that are happening,
Very cool.
like in the battle sense. So you got to have that alternate cover. And then I know like Moose talked me into if for people who don't want the alternate cover, we're gonna do an adventure booklet of all the extra adventures in the book if people want that. I guess I don't know.
Cool.
I know, like the whole point is like to get all the covers, collect them all, right, Joey?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna have every single copy. I gotta have them all.
So yeah, so that's my big news that I figured I would put on here
That's
officially.
sick, man. Congratulations.
Cool.
Oh, well, thanks.
Like-
Hopefully we get funded on that one.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
No,
That's
I don't
all.
think so either.
I'll get
Yeah.
the phone. I'll get the attaché case, and there'll be no questions.
Yeah, I need my sleazy P martini.
I'm your guy, buddy.
I love it.
I'm your guy.
So, and then no Dune. Jared asked if no David Lynch's Dune. No, because I want the Jodorowsky Dune.
Yes.
Did you ever watch that documentary?
Yeah, I did.
Super
Yep.
good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive Jodorowsky fan. Like,
Yeah.
Holy Mountain is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I think we talked about it, but
Yes,
that's
we
like
did.
that midnight movie episode, because that's like the midnight movie is like El Topo.
Yeah, El
And
Topo. One of my first
Mm.
bands was named El Topo.
Hell yeah! All right, well that's a whole nother conversation. See,
awesome.
we could keep going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but from on that, I will say goodbye from the Neon Lord section, and then,
Ciao, paisans. Oh,
Uh,
see you Thursday. Pizza party. Goodman Games. Forgot about that. 8:00.
Oh yeah,
Goodman-
see, this is
There you go.
slipping, Joey. It's past midnight. It's past your
It's
bedtime.
midnight. I'm starting
Yeah.
to crash.
It's all good. All right, and from there, we'll talk to you guys later.
Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland will be right back. But first, a word from our sponsors.